Welcome to the Level Up Live podcast featuring me, Mafidella, and who's to the right of me?
Oh, I can't do rights and lefts, but it's probably me. Hello, I am Baguette Baby.
And then we've got someone below me.
Huh? Ooh, me? What about me?
Potentially.
Hi,
We've
Paz.
got Paz.
Yeah. Paz, whatever. I'm all the same. And
then we've got the...
E.
We got me! The Insomniac Swedish Gamer Cat! Hello, Lord Sim!
And we'll be talking all things about getting started. And just kind of a deeper dive into the little things, the stuff you don't really think about when just getting started, or the stuff you are thinking about right now because you're too afraid to start streaming and hitting the start streaming button. But yeah, how about we start off with the things that you don't even see, like on stream half the time, the hardware and software that we're using. Anyone want to lead?
I think when it comes to hardware and software, there's just so many ways to go about it. And I think that people get really hung up on not having the right tools and being sure exactly where to invest first. So I just want to pick everybody's brains about, like, if you had to pick one piece of hardware that you think is really important before starting a streaming journey to invest in, what would you say is the number one thing that you would want to invest in? If you could only pick one thing to, like, really put some money towards?
Honestly, I think it would have to be the microphone.
Yeah, microphone?
Yeah.
I would agree with that, but I'd probably have to say something around the terms of like a potential video card, because like with audio is important, but also video is just as important.
Okay.
I'd probably slap in the webcam shout, just because I know we're VTubers here, but some of you guys are disgustingly called flesh tubers.
Oh my god. Not the flesh tubers.
The face cammers, the flesh tubers.
Exactly. And I feel like unless you, like, even then, like, some people just show their, like, arm when they're playing, like, Osu or something, or, like, their controller, or, like, touchpad or whatever. So there's a lot to kind of add to your stream just from having a webcam set up.
I'm gonna agree with Sim and say the microphone. I feel like I know so many people who have just, like, wonderful voices in our community and just in the stream sphere in general. And I also know that, like, there is a gigantic market for people to just, like, lurk and listen to your streams. So even if there's not something visually happening that is related to you, I feel like the microphone is just so important because it makes sure that your voice is clear, you can be heard, you don't have, like, garbly sound quality, and so people can just listen to your stream, which can be really helpful for building your audience. I have the microphone for me. Speaking of which, like, what does everybody use? Like, how is everybody's setup? Because I feel like we probably have pretty diverse setups. Maybe not like makes and models of things, but like how is everybody's stuff all set up?
Just for like a microphone sense of thing?
Microphone, technology, hardware in general.
Ugh, I have a lot going on technological wise, but like just for a microphone, I use the a beacon mic.
Okay. Is it like sitting on your desk or like?
No, it's got a boom arm and everything. So that way, like if I pound my desk, you're not hearing the vibrations of it being slammed.
I'll hear it through Kalani's stream instead.
Well, Kalani's got my old Blue Yeti mic, which isn't I can't remember there's different types of microphone, but it's the kind where like it picks up all the audio. So it's like great for like a studio where like you want to pick up all the audio, but like bad for streaming because like if I'm shouting playing video games in my room, her stream will hear it.
It's true.
Funny.
It's very true.
But yeah.
Is everybody here PC streamers, or do we have anybody who streams from a console or a laptop?
No, I'm a PC boy.
PC?
Yeah.
I used to start laptop, but I am so grateful for my PC now. God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always been PC.
I have streamed from both PC and a laptop, and I know people who've streamed from consoles. Well, through, I guess, a laptop, but who use a console instead of a PC for their games.
I will say, I've tested out the feature. I remember like being like a little kid, like just with like a PS4 or something, and I was like, "Hey, let's stream FIFA. Great, cool. It's embedded into Twitch." And although it's neat to do it through console, I wonder. I don't know how it's like evolved since then, but I do just remember it being like if you have a mic connected to your PlayStation, like PS4.
Yeah.
You could talk to chat through that, and it kind of shows up on the right of your like game kind of thing. So if you're really like if you've not got a laptop or computer kind of thing, I completely forgot about those kinds of humble beginnings that some people have. That yeah, that's all it takes, and if you can entertain someone with that, that's kudos to you.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah, I
want
actually
to.
completely forgot about PS4 streaming and stuff like that. Kind of used to
didn't
do that
think-
myself earlier.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
How did
So
that
when-
In the
feel?
day.
So we're talking about getting started, right? So I think all of us are relatively established. I think every one of us has been streaming for at least a year or more, right? How has your setup all changed, like from when you first started to now?
A lot.
I'll be real. Not much has changed.
No, okay. Well,
Not
like,
much has changed.
well, somebody was a pro. Someone was ready to go. Like,
No, I don't know. I feel like if you have something like pretty concrete, there's not much you can do to like upgrade your setup without going like the extra mile for it.
yeah, like spending $1 million.
Yeah, that or being like I don't know, like kind of like I don't want to say I don't want to put it in like a negative way, like oh you're like overdoing it, but no, like just like being like kind of extra about it, but like not in a bad way.
Like having that professional grade production value.
Yeah.
Like looking sponsored.
For sure.
And you can just smell that the sponsorship's on this stream right now, man.
Yeah, like I don't know. I have a microphone. I have a webcam. Like I guess the new things from like way back in the day is that I have a ring light, and that's kind of it. A ring light and a stream deck. That's like what I've
Ooh,
like
okay.
upgraded over the years. I feel like other than that, you're good, man. Like webcam, even if you're not doing like webcam streaming, if you're like a VTuber and stuff like that, you can use a webcam for that. Like yeah, like just invest in like a good mic, and you're kind of good to go. Like you don't gotta do much more.
Yeah. Mavi Paz?
I'll let Mafi go first because a lot of my stream has changed over the years. I don't know.
We're expecting an essay soon after, but
Alright.
with me, I started basically just laptop. It wasn't even. Or I think I did have a mic, so it was laptop and mic. I kind of just placed it down on my desk and went from there. It had a built-in webcam, which, if you're not recording, I think I did like face cam. That was like the first thing I did, and then I went, "Wow, VTuber sugoi desu," and then I hate myself. What's it called? So yeah, VTubers Pog, and then I transitioned into the whole VTubing thing, and I realized, well, and I think the evolution of your setup dictates what you really need at that moment in time. And although I could have made the jump to PC, the next piece of the puzzle was that webcam, because I had the mic, I had a computer that I was running. I started with Streamlabs. You want to eventually transition to OBS, but we might get into that later
Yeah,
potentially.
software, yeah.
But yeah, and just kind of that was enough for a while. I was able to get a job externally, obviously. I didn't have enough through Twitch or anything of that sort, and I just literally splashed the cash and just straight up got a PC. From there, you have to get your like monitor. I personally I've never had a like dual monitor setup ever or anything of that sort. I just kind of use that one monitor, and that's fine with me for the time being. I have that webcam always there, and then I've had this mic for maybe like 2.5 years. So yeah, it's similar. It just evolves over time, like with, I guess, like your budget, and we might go into that, like with how we choose to spend on particular things. But yeah, it's humble beginnings with a good old gaming laptop that isn't actually that great. And then now we've got a full-blown PC setup. I will say though, my mic doesn't have like a boom arm or whatever they're called. I actually just have it on a random box right now, just so it's close to my face.
Perfect. We love it. Ingenuity. All right, Paz. I'm ready for your essay.
All right. Well, I originally started with one PC, one single monitor, and a webcam. And the only investment that I did was I bought the Blue Yeti microphone, which I want to just take the time to shout out. Blue Yeti is a great intro mic. Definitely something you might want to upgrade down the road. But like in terms of its cost for what you get, it will do the miles now.
Especially if you want to do ASMR.
Yes.
You can do it with the Blue Yeti.
Yep.
It's like the classic.
What I've upgraded over the time is I eventually invested. I got a new computer with a better video card, and then I branched out to, well, actually before that I also got a laptop, so I could have that running my own stream, so I can visually see my stream while I stream, so I could tell if like there's any visual audio issues or anything like that. Unironically, I still use that, but I use that to lurk on other people's streams now. Then I ended up getting a second computer, and then I got a touchpad to operate as a monitor for that secondary computer, which is what runs Mr. Endy, my AI pet owl, and all his fun shenanigans that you could do with him. And then I got a second monitor to go along with the computer, the new computer. I got a new microphone, boom arm, which unironically used to just be attached to like a little coffee table that sat on top of my actual table. But now that's got a whole new setup, a whole standing desk for both my computer and the secondary computer, and a lamp and some string lights. I think that's kind of... Oh, and a stream deck. I forgot my stream deck. I think that...
You know, with the way you were going, I was expecting like, and I got a second house, and I got
look, I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't rich. I just don't spend money.
So, Paz, do you have a dual PC setup then?
In a sense, yes, but it's not fully optimized in the same way that yours is. Like, mine just runs Endy and all the little effects that you can do with him on that.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's like the end goal for me as well, to have a dual PC setup eventually.
So let's talk the dual PC setup, because I feel like it's maybe an elephant in this room since I have one. So I'm actually excited to talk about this because I actually have gone through several different setups over a pretty short period of time. I want to preface this with the only reason I'm able to do so is because I have a partner who works in the tech industry who gets like hand-me-down pieces and parts and trades those parts for other parts with other tech people. And he has been very smart and very helpful in building some of these things for me. So obviously, like, if I was paying for all of these things myself, there's no way I would have the setup that I have. But I started off on a single PC setup. I have an iPhone already, so I utilize an iPhone for my tracking. It's something that I knew I wanted to do anyway, because I really like the way that iPhone tracking looks for a VTuber model, especially for the 3D models. And when I got started, we thought that was good enough. I had a pretty beefy PC. It had handled lots of beefy titles, Horizon Zero Dawn, all Life is Strange games, like things that were pretty graphically intensive and handled pretty well. But the reason that we ended up moving to a 2 PC setup was because the type of games that I wanted to play, Plague Tale, Horizon Zero Dawn, things like that, were way too beefy when combined with my model. So my tech setup has evolved as a necessity to facilitate my content. Yep.
Trust me, I'm feeling it. I feel the limitations.
But after that setup, I was trying to play through Plague Tale. It was pretty early on in my streaming career, and my computer was continuously blue screening midstream. It was really frustrating. So that's when we decided to move to a 2-machine setup, but it wasn't 2 PCs right away. It was actually a laptop and a PC for a while. So I would stream off of the laptop, and then my VTuber would run through it. But the game itself runs entirely through a PC. Eventually upgraded from there to the actual full 2 PCs. I have these 2 big beefy boys right here in front of me. They're very quiet, which I appreciate, but they create a lot of heat. And now I feel like I have kind of like this pro setup. I've got the ring light, I've got the 3 monitors, 2 PCs, fancy keyboard that makes good clicky clacky sounds that I like, and my phone on a stand and my mic on an arm. And I feel like I'm finally happy with my setup, and I can do anything I want to do. But I don't think I would have gone the 2 PC route again, like if it wasn't for the kind of content that I wanted to make. Like if my content was like all through my like Nintendo Switch or something that it wasn't as graphically intense or difficult on my GPU, I probably wouldn't have gone this route because it's also very complicated.
Yeah.
It creates some really interesting tech headaches from time to time.
It's interesting that you mentioned the Switch, because I think with intensive game kind of problems, a way that you can actually get around potentially having like a 2-system kind of like solution sort of thing, and I kind of did this. I did this with my laptop, which wasn't the best. I called it a gaming laptop. I feel like it was a gaming laptop that I messed up like somewhere, like I don't know if it's got a secret virus or something, like butchering it just like with an axe. But essentially, one way I was able to get around to playing games that were more higher end was getting that Elgato, and that Elgato might be like $200-$300, or you can obviously get like a different brand of capture card, but that really kind of expands your horizons on, hey, I don't actually have to get the game through Steam because the same game's on like the Nintendo Switch or something, and that's a cheeky, great avenue to kind of get yourself started. I think a lot of people that if you don't already have like a PC setup or you're like a PC gamer, then you might already be playing on that Switch, and you've got Animal Crossing or something, you're already playing the game, which means you've already bought it, so you don't have to worry about the kind of financial strain other than that initial just purchase of a capture card. So you don't necessarily have to go down the routes that are portrayed here. They're really neat. In fact, like I think if I move out eventually and branch into a new evolution of my life, I'd probably strongly consider the way that you guys kind of have it.
Yeah, I think a good call on the capture card. If the 2-piece setup does require the capture card as well, so it's a lot of fun, a lot of different pieces and parts. But I mean, absolutely, there's ways to just kind of start. So when it comes to technology, I'd say step 1, and let me know if you guys have different thoughts, is just like take stock of what you have, right? What games do you already have? What games do you already enjoy? What consoles might you have? Do you already have a PC? Do you already have a laptop? Does it have a built-in mic? Does it have a built-in webcam that can just get you started? And then just deciding from there what is most important to you for the kind of content that you want to make, and then upgrading to whatever upgrade you want to have, or maybe not even at all, right? Like, you can have humble beginnings. It's totally okay. You don't have to come out the gate with like a professional 2 PC setup with, you're streaming in 4K and streaming to Twitch and YouTube and Kick all at the same time. And like you can pick one platform, you can pick one, game to play, and you can really just kind of get started from there. And you don't have to like do everything right away. You can absolutely start with much humbler tech than the more established streamers you're interacting with have.
It's a lot better if you like ease yourself into it, because like coming out the gate swinging, like, bro, what if you realize you don't even like streaming?
Exactly.
Like, that you spent all this money on like all this tech, and you're like, well, that was a worthwhile investment, I guess.
I think also one thing that people don't think about too is that streams can feel overproduced. So like if you're still getting your feet wet, but everything is like perfect, beautiful, like professional level, your stream will feel almost uncanny valley overproduced. Like
Yeah.
in a weird way too. So like don't be afraid to let some of that like humble beginnings shine through, because as you're getting your footing, right? Like you're not coming across also as way too overproduced on Twitch or wherever. I don't know why, but like I've seen streams like that you just like the quality of the tech and the quality of the content are in like a weird limbo. And
Yes.
I don't know, it's like weird, you know?
I'm literally thinking about a couple of streamers right now that I'm like, yeah, they could reel it back a little bit.
Yeah. And like it's not, so it almost could be to your benefit to have a little bit simpler technology while you get your feet wet and while you're still starting off too.
Yeah. I feel like people are a lot more like willing and open to like watch someone who is like just getting started, and you can kind of like feel that in their quality too, rather than someone who has like, I don't know, the best microphone in the market. There's literally no like echo whatsoever, and it sounds super
Like
crisp and condensed.
Using like an industry plant, my guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because I feel like when you're just getting started, like your audience too might be consisting of people who like to watch smaller, newer streamers. Like that's their thing that they like to watch. So like if you come out the gate super overproduced, you're also missing out on one of the most supportive parts of the streamer community, which is people who like to help people launch, because you're like intimidatingly overproduced.
I'm one of those kinds of viewers. I feel like I met so many of the almost community when they were either like just getting their affiliate or not even. Like it's weird to think like Murph, for example, comes to mind at first. Like I don't know if it was just after she got affiliate or just beforehand, but to see where she's at now, I'm like, wow. Like just seeing that journey from a viewer point of view is really satisfying. It kind of leaves you not to a parasocial extent. That's a whole nother topic. Making sure that you're embedding your like friendships and whatever with people properly. But yeah, it's just really nice to be a part of that journey. There's also like, you know, when you're not intimidated by those things, there's a little some of the scuff, right, that we love to say around these parts start to become like inside jokes, start to become like things of reference over time that you can kind of point at, and it actually gives you insight that you can give someone else that is probably in a position that you previously were in, right?
In fact, one of my favorite memes ever came out of Scuff. It was the biblically accurate baguette neck.
Stop it! We're not talking about
Can you get a
biblically
demo?
accurate.
I was literally thinking the same thing. Like Mafia mentioned Scuff, and I was like, oh yeah, Baggle's neck, yeah.
Stop it! Oh my god!
It's so good.
You know, I'm gonna take this moment to also to say that, especially when you're just getting started, it's really important to not overcomplicate your stream and don't feel like you have to. I know that a lot of streamers we like to watch have fancy redeems or crazy setups, or they're playing like, you know, in seriously crazy games, and don't feel like you have to do that. And in fact, don't do that, because that's how you end up with biblically accurate baguette neck, because you didn't test all of the cross functionality for the 6 redeems you added at the same time, and they do funny things when they get redeemed back to back.
Yeah.
So you're saying,
Learn from me.
but if you do that, document it, clip it up and put it on TikTok.
Clip it and freaking ship it, man. Oh god. So we've talked a lot about the technology aspects in terms of hardware that could apply to either VTubers, flesh tubers, face cammers, whatever. When it comes to VTube specific, I feel like one thing that everybody probably gets hung up on is the model, right? Like, do I want to be a PNG tuber, or do I want to have a 3D model? Do I want to have a 2D model? Do I want to get a model commissioned? Do I want to use a pre-made model? I guess, guys, let's just all talk about like different options we explored when it came to setting up for stream, or different iterations of your model that you've gone through, and what you learned that you liked or didn't like for that.
I will say right off the bat, it is more than okay to start off as a PNG tuber.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
Amen.
I kinda like recommend doing that. Don't do what I did. Just don't do what I did, okay?
So what did you do? You gotta tell the people.
Gotta
Don't do
elaborate.
what I did. Don't
What did you
be
do?
like, yes, for my first model, I think I'm going to commission this person and spend a bunch of money.
Oh, don't tell
And then
me.
realize-
Oh, you had the same starting story as me.
Not entirely, because, so the model I commissioned turns out, the artist who was like, yeah, dude, I got you, man. I will make you this model. They made it, and they did not cut the model up. And there was a lot of like line art issues with like really bold, thick line art in places where there shouldn't be any. So I had to spend I literally spent 3 months fixing the model, cutting it up like properly, and like removing line art issues, stuff like that, before I was like, cool, I can finally start revealing the VTuber model now.
And this was before your demi sim, right?
Yes, it was Sim
my God.
1.0, who has been forgotten by time now.
I'm gonna need a picture of this. I am. He's gatekeeping!
I am.
He doesn't want you to have more blackmail on him.
Honestly.
Damn.
But the reason why I don't really like show off Sim 1.0 is because it was kind of close to my IRL like image.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like the less that is spread around, the better I feel, you know?
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
true.
But yeah, you can totally. That's also like a thing. You don't have to be like anime Catman, right? You can just be like a drawn
Yourself.
version of yourself. Like that's totally okay. And if you then later want to be like, you know what? I feel like I want to be like a space devil from, whatever. Then you can make that change, and people would be like, oh yeah, I guess this is what we're doing now. I'm cool with this.
If you want to know more about building your brand, you can check out our previous episode.
Hey, segue.
So Sam, obviously you're a 2D model. You're kind of the odd man out here. What made you decide you wanted to be 2D instead of 3D?
Oh,
Oh, caught him. Caught him in 2D.
Caught him in 2D. I'll be honest. No, I won't be.
He's just gonna say, "Cause y'all are ugly."
I prefer the 2D look.
Okay, so it's all
I'll just-
aesthetics. You're shallow. Got it.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, your aesthetic that you care about matters, right?
Yeah. It's also like, I don't know, I feel like a hand-drawn style is also just like more visually appealing to me than like, oh, this is the 3D mesh model, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's more like personalization in a 2D model, but that's my take that maybe the three of you don't agree with.
What are you talking about? I'm a 2D model too.
Did you just say not customizable laughs in 50 Vroid models?
Yeah. No. I didn't say not customizable. I said not personalized.
Laughs in 50 3D.
Yeah, no, listen, I understand. It's just like, I don't know, man. To me, that's just like there's some form of like barrier between 2D and 3D models where like legitimately, if I ever got like a proper like 3D model, I would need it to emulate 2D.
And that's expensive.
That's hella expensive. Like that's crazy expensive. We're talking about like that's like HoloLive level of models.
Yup. Now the I feel like what's crazy is I think that especially when it comes to starting up and you're trying to choose between the 2D medium and the 3D medium, cost can be a big one and when you're talking about like wanting to build a personal custom model. 2D is probably more expensive in that regard.
Yeah.
Depending.
Yeah, I'd say it depends.
Depending, right?
Because like,
But
there are
ahead,
some. I use the air quotes very lightly, but there are like on Etsy 2D like 2D VTuber models that have some degree of customization. Like I saw one. I was looking to see like for Indy to get him an actual, instead of being a PNG, like an actual 3D or 2D avatar. They have like an animal that's like, and it's like an egg shape, but you can change, like you want it to be an owl, a parakeet, a mouse, I think a cat, a dog. Like it has levels of customization, not to the same like as like a Vroid or like paying someone to customize your own 2D model, but like there, to a degree, you can afford 2D models like on Etsy or similar sites that have some degree of customization.
this is true. They will have the same base, but you can usually change like hair, clothes, and they have like different combinations. That's true.
Yeah. And even like small like changes like that, I feel like can go a long way for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to say
I
there's
guess,
nothing wrong with it too.
Yeah. What do you say, Mafi?
So I was like thinking about it as you guys were like formulating, like what's it called? I was thinking of like kind of the ladder, as in like the cheapest to most expensive, and I think a great website that you guys should totally get used to, especially if you're doing collabs and stuff like that, and you've already got your VTuber thing, is just Pit Crew. I think Pit Crew is a really neat place to kind of get started, where you're not even. It's before even commissioning someone for an OC, but it's messing with a bunch of templates and kind of doing what you will eventually do through Vroid if you decide to go through there, where it's like most of them have like a variety, or a decent amount of them have like a variety of skin tone, variety of different hairstyles and colors and eyes and all that kind of thing, and you can use that as a point of reference to those eventual commissions or projects that you work on for a live 2D or a Vroid model in the future. And it's a great place to start. I definitely recommend checking out
It's true. If you're struggling with your concept, that could definitely be a very cheap way to like try a bunch of different aesthetics all at once.
Yeah,
And see art styles.
That's such a good suggestion. I did not even like consider Pit Crew until you said that.
Mm-hmm. And some of them even let you have the ability to use things that you've made there as your PNG for a little while if you wanted as well.
Exactly. Yeah. In terms of like the higher end stuff, I guess what you guys were alluding to earlier, it's funny because you'd think from like the Vroid point of view that live 2D is the most expensive one, but you forget that some people, if you're not doing it through Vroid, 3D is like, it kind of sandwiches. It goes, if you consider PNG 2D, you go PNG and then probably Vroid and then live 2D and then like I shouldn't say proper 3D, but like
a from scratch, like a Blender or from scratch 3D model. Yep.
Yeah, and that'll go from, I'd say like a live 2D model could go anywhere from like 500 to 1,500 typically, depending on if you can snipe a good price or not, or something of that sort. But a 3D model, I can't even think of what that would cost.
Yeah. I think too, like I think some of those people are like $2,000 base price. Like for those like really professional level 3D
Yikes.
models. Yeah. And it also depends on what kinds of features and integrations you want to, right? So, and this goes with both 2D and 3D. Thinking about like toggles in the 2D sphere can cost extra money to have made. 3D VTubing and 3D avatar creation has come a really long way. There are people who are capable of using Unity to add things even to Vroid models that typically weren't able to be added in the past, and different effects. Paying those people for their expertise is also going to cost more money. So the more that you want, the more you have to be willing to pay. So like keeping that in mind with everything we talk about when it comes to hardware, it's the same argument with your model, right? Don't be afraid to start simple. Don't be afraid to start cheap. Because there's lots of things that we all probably have on our wish lists that it's just like we're all several years in or a year in or however long we've been streaming for. And we still have things we want to fix. And so you have time. You don't have to do it all at the beginning.
Yeah.
How long has everybody been streaming for in here?
In total, or
Yeah, like total.
just like this streaming account that I'm known for?
Both?
Yeah, so it's both.
Yes.
Okay, both. So like, as Lord Sim, you know, before I even like had the name Lord Sim, like 7 years almost. I'm coming up on 7 years, I think.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. In total, dude, that's like that's like 15 years or something. Like,
No way.
yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy.
God damn.
Yeah, I used to do like, oh man, what would you call it?
Skype?
No. it used to be. Have you ever heard of livestream.com?
What?
That
Yeah,
sounds like a
that's how,
website I should
that's
have
how ancient that is. Okay, like it was a website that I first started streaming on, and what I used to do, it was just like me with like a webcam and just like hang out, talking to chat for like an hour or two, and then being like,
God.
all right, see you guys, goodbye.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
With,
how,
like, your
that's how
whole
I
face?
started. Yeah, with my whole face.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as my flesh IRL self. That's my
On main.
flesh mecha.
That's crazy.
On main.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I haven't
No.
thought about livestream.com in a hot minute.
Does it still exist?
I don't think so.
You know what? Let's find out. I'm gonna do some
Let's find
research.
out.
Paz and Mavi tell us how long they've been streaming.
Yeah, let's hear it, Paz.
Honestly, I don't know. I think maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I haven't really paid attention, I'll be honest. Yeah, nothing too dramatic there.
The real years were the friends you made along the way.
True.
For me, it's funny because I was talking about it late night with a few pals. It's wild to think that I've been doing it for at least like I'd say like this kind of iteration. Although it's every model that I've had, like or dramatic change of this model I've had, has felt like a complete almost restart in a way. But like yeah, on this VTuber / Twitch journey, I'd say it's been at least 3 years, maybe 2 months or so. But even before then, I dabbled in a little bit of Facebook gaming where I totally took it seriously. I didn't want a full Among Us lobby through Facebook or anything, you know, because we didn't want to play with like 5 people or randos. but yeah, that was fun. It's crazy. I think a lot of people pick it up picked up VTubing through probably like some kind of like boredom or curiosity that developed from what's it called, the COVID era, where you were exposed to a lot of, whether it was HoloLive or you're kind of going like, what's really neat is a lot of us, instead of watching TV, will watch our friends for entertainment. Isn't that crazy? like the evolution of that kind of thing, and that'll inspire your journey to stream itself. And like I'm at a point where like if I'm not streaming myself, like it'll be my friends that are streaming, and I'll be watching that. You know. And what about you, Bag?
I'll be at 2 years in December.
Wow.
Nice.
So you do the math. Also, livestream.com does still exist. It's called Vimeo now.
Oh, okay, that's a lot familiar.
They rebranded.
Right.
Interesting.
Oh, man.
Either that or Vimeo bought the URL, and that's it.
I feel like they might have just bought the URL because I find it hard to believe that website with that, like, I don't know, it was really like the like the first avenue of like live streaming online. It's like, I don't know, it was so ancient, and I'm pretty sure at one point their service was closed. So I think they might just have picked up the URL and be like, yeah, this is ours now.
I would say on a keyword level, that's probably quite a brilliant idea for someone that's like, welcome to the internet. Oh, a live stream. And then, yeah, if they literally went livestream.com, that's great traffic. I don't know if Twitch or YouTube does anything of that sort, or even Google. I feel like a search.com exists though, but if Google ever bought that out, I don't know.
Search.com. You know what? Let's Google that.
Let's Google that.
It's not accidentally getting to the dark web though.
Wow, it just brings you up to like this white void that just says search.
Search. Oh, what do we want to
Software.
search?
What would we
search
recommend for
Lord
getting started for software? We've talked about a hardware.
Oh.
What about what about hardware?
What about software?
Software, yeah. I have recommendations.
I mean,
You
the
have
number
plenty.
one thing you'll need is a streaming software, right? Something you can hit start stream on.
Yes, like that. I'd probably recommend OBS.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
honestly, like, to me, there's nothing, unless you need like specific like integrations. There's really no point in not using OBS, which is free for everyone to use and has like more plugins known to man than there are
Tons of
Pokemon
support
cards.
as well in the community.
Yeah,
And like,
crazy support.
if you're trying to figure something out, you could talk to pretty much to most content creators and they can help you.
Yeah,
Like, there's tons of YouTube tutorials for OBS, all the plugins. People that you watch probably use it, so I bet they would help you. Like, I love OBS.
yeah. I like, in terms of like video, even just like for local video recordings, like OBS is just king. Like it just really is.
You can use it
Yeah.
for school. I mean, like I've done that so
Yeah.
many times for pre-recorded presentations, right? Super
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
So OBS for a lot.
What about like adjacent software for streaming?
Haha, you just want to talk about Polypop Pass.
Yeah,
Maybe.
true.
No, actually, no. It's only one of like 5 things on my list I want to talk about for software. Thank you very much.
So, when it comes to your basic integration softwares, there's a couple different routes to go. I started with Stream Elements actually as my very first like chatbot overlay housing. Don't make faces at me, Paz.
I was itching my eye. I'm sorry.
Okay, that you're like twitching your eye like Stream Elements. Grr.
I use
Stream
Stream
Elements.
Elements still. Sorry.
So I use it for my chatbot features. I used it for a couple of like chat command integrations because obviously before, at least on Twitch, before you hit your affiliate, you have no redeems. So I used it for like little cute commands in chat. It's where I put my overlays. I started streaming in the winter, so I took advantage of some of their like holiday themed widgets for the overlays as well. It's how you can get your chat on stream. I thought it was really nice. It was pretty easy. Oh, follower alerts, things like that can go through Stream Elements. I found it pretty user friendly for a beginner. Did it satisfy everything I wanted? No, I had to have like other things. I had to get Trigger Fire, which is a command based video player. You can type a command in chat and it will go off and play like a video or a sound. I had to have sound alerts, extension, things like that as well. Still have some of those, haven't fully integrated everything where I want. But I thought that was a really great place to start. Personally, I liked it.
Yeah,
So anybody else?
I feel like the alternative to Stream Elements, I guess, would be Streamlabs, but I'll be honest, as someone who's used Streamlabs his whole like, VTubing streaming career, there's better options out there, man. Like, man, I don't know about Streamlabs anymore. But like, it's there, it's free, it's available, it's affordable.
I'll vouch for Streamlabs for under one condition, and it's interesting because like the Streamlabs kind of gives us the ick a little bit just because it's a lot for like also like the computers and like the laptops that we use. It's better to use OBS because it just what is it? I forget if it's the memory issue or something of that sort. But there's OBS is just generally better for your computer, but like we said earlier, the other alternative to Stream Elements is ironically Streamlabs, in which you can do stuff like what is it? Before affiliate, you don't get channel points in those redeems. But what's really neat, and shout out to Super Cat Punch who introduced this kind of thing to me really early on, is before affiliate, you can still have channel points, but they don't go through Twitch. But you can kind of have these redeems through Streamlabs, and it kind of like you just kind of go to another page and redeem stuff from there, and that's your kind of like pre-channel points sort of way of doing it.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's little what I used to do before channel points were a thing.
Exactly.
I do want to say Stream Elements has something similar to that, but honestly, it was really clunky.
I would say it's Streamlabs is just the way you acclimatize to everything. I feel like if you're like completely intimidated by it all, and especially a couple years ago, OBS did not look the way it did. In fact, if we're going back to a different topic, Vroid didn't look the way it did. You guys are spoiled. Vroid looked a lot like just as intimidating as OBS did. But going back to Streamlabs, it basically, like, upon downloading, it tells you, okay, we're gonna be setting this up for you, and we're gonna be setting this up for you. Get your webcam ready. Get like all this kind of sorted. Connect Twitch or connect YouTube. So like it really holds your hand, and I think very, very beginning, might as well go for it. If you don't have the kind of network built up, you're not already in a community that's full of like these creators and such, do use Streamlabs, but with the aim of transitioning to OBS and using stuff like Stream Elements.
Yeah, I have nothing to add on to that, but if we are ready to jump into the elephant in the room, I'd love to talk about Polypop.
Yeah, explain to me, what the hell is Polypop?
Everything and anything you could possibly imagine. Now, I will say one caveat to Polypop is if you're just starting, stay away from it. Not that it's like bad, but like it's not I guess intuitive. It does have like tutorials built into it, but like it's very, very daunting.
Polypop is basically a node-based streaming software that allows you to integrate various things and connect it with your channel points. So kind of a lot of the functions that like Mix It Up Bot does.
Feeling Sammy Bot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Sammy Bot was also like node-based. And it's like, hey, you can do pretty much anything you want. You want a redeem that like bans a bunch of well-known bots? Yeah, you can set that up and every time it plays, it like plays like like an animation of someone kicking the stream chat and knocking the bots out of it. Like it's SammyBot is crazy, man.
That's really neat.
I have SariBot. I don't think I've heard of SammyBot.
Yeah, SammyBot is like, hey, you can do anything you want with this, but like, get ready to like learn programming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Polypop's a little bit. Paz had put me on it. I do utilize it for certain things, mostly for like sound effects that go off. So like when you yeet me and it goes yeet, that's connected to Polypop. And things like that, and then overlays, like when Paz swaps models on stream, that is a button that you push that activates the little owl wing, right? On stream, Paz.
Yep.
So it can be great for like adding visual effects or connecting sound effects or visual cues with a channel point redeem or a chat command. It can also, the thing that I use it for as well is you can have different scenes in it. So like when I get a raid and it takes me into a whole other scene where I'm dancing and it says welcome raiders, like that's through Polypop. It's just changing scenes for me without switching OBS scenes. It's switching scenes in Polypop. So, I think it's a very useful tool. I would definitely say it's an intermediate to advanced tool though.
Yep. But it's got
100%.
a lot of utility to it. And the weird part is like it even has like physics built into it, so you can have like 3D stuff bouncing around on screen. And like, yeah, it does use up some resources, but not as much as I thought it would. Like, you can get pretty crazy with it.
Yeah, it's 1 to 2% of my CPU max. I'd say when I'm streaming, it's not bad. But I don't have it loaded with stuff.
But I would also like to give a shout out to Mix It Up, like as someone who uses that as well. Like, similar to Polypop, you could do a lot with Mix It Up, but like I think it's better integrated with like how you do chat related stuff. Like so for like setting up specific types of chat commands, currencies, that sort of stuff. Like I have a daily redeem that I just recently set up, and that's all through Mix It Up, and I think that that is good enough for a like. It's also, I'd say, probably like maybe intermediate, but like I think like just starting off, it'd also be really good for a streamer as long as you took the time at least to learn some of the basics of it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a software that I love that was very important to my getting started journey, and that was Canva.
Oh, that's a direction I didn't think you'd go in.
Canva.
I was waiting.
Has anybody else in this call like used Canva?
I use Canva
things?
for my scheduling.
Okay.
I feel like I use it for everything. Like
Everything?
from thumbnails to like the overlays that we like use on like a regular kind of basis, and also for school and other projects. It's funny, like it recently released a bunch of updates that helped its quality of life that I was finding workarounds for, and I'm like, no, I don't have to do those.
Sim, do you use Canva?
I do not, because I am my very own Photoshop art boy.
Oh, so fancy. What's that TikTok trend going around right now? It's like, ooh, fancy pants, Rich McGee. Fuck you.
I mean, like I literally went to like that's what I majored in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I got a free copy of like every Adobe software. I got a free laptop to go with it, and they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna learn this for the next like 3 years."
Nice. So you do like digital art?
Yeah, I went to art school for graphic design.
That's cool. So Sim like laughs at our Canva, to be honest. He sits
I do not. I think honestly, Canva is like a great option for people that don't feel like super savvy at Photoshop and stuff.
Yeah. I know, like when I was setting up for getting started for my debut stream, I made the model in Vroid. I got OBS. I got Triggerfire with like 1 or 2 things set up on it for chat commands. I made sure my PC could run a game, And then I just went absolutely ham in Canva, making promotional material for my debut, making my overlays, making everything. Just cannot say how useful that tool is in terms of all the things that you'll need throughout your content creation journey, because not just overlays, but like promotional material, right? You're starting a new game, you want to hype it up on social media, throw that shit into Canva. Like, make a little advertisement, put it on Twitter. You'll need a banner. Canva literally has a Twitch banner option, so you don't have to worry about the size. It will size it for you super nicely. Like, just so important.
I wish Photoshop could do that.
You could just use Canva for that. Just one.
Yeah.
You could just use Canva.
Or you could use Photopea, and what's interesting about Photopea is it's free, and you don't have to give Adobe any money whatsoever.
Honestly, based.
Yeah. So with Photopea, and it's an interesting discovery. I forget where I got it from, but I've been on the hunt like for years and years upon like reliable kind of transparent image, kind of like, you know how like you'll have something, you don't have a solid color behind it, but you want to just kind of cleanly like cut it out. And there's a bunch of like AIs that have been developed over time and all those kinds of things, but they don't quite do it right. So sometimes you want to do it yourself. Canva has a really good built-in one, but unless you're on the free trial or paying $17 Canadian a month, or however much it is in America or Sweden,
$12.99.
yeah, your next best like bet could be like literally either green screen it or like put a border or there put a bordering color around it that you don't mind kind of leaking through if you don't get it precise, and just go magic wand and Photopea, and I think just select a bunch of it, hit delete, and you're good, and you can slap that back into Canva, which is really neat. And that's how you kind of work around it. So you don't have to pay $17 Canadian a month. Or no Photoshop.
I just use
Yeah.
GIMP.
I was gonna say I use GIMP for
Yeah,
that.
GIMP is a great. Listen, man. Like
GIMP is based.
I went to school using and learning Photoshop and like all Adobe softwares. Listen, man. The last thing I want to do is give these tyrants money. So like any free options like GIMP, Canva, all that stuff, fucking based. Use it as much as you can. All right.
I just wish GIMP was called something else. I
Same.
hate it.
Yeah.
Same.
What does that give the vibes of? I can't quite pinpoint
It
it.
just feels like an
Whoa.
ableist slur to me. honest.
GIMP is. Oh, you guys don't know what a GIMP is?
I do.
I don't know what
course
that
not.
is.
Oh, you
Oh,
lucky. Oh.
Oh no, they don't know.
I
Wait,
learned
it's an actual
through-
term?
It's an actual term. It's a leather bound little sex doll. Let's put it that way.
way! Oh
Yeah.
god, I'm looking it up right now.
Oh God, no.
Oh god.
Well, on the topic of
Wait.
things that sound very sexual. Actually, wait, you want to... Baguette, you want to report your
No,
findings?
okay, so I didn't find what Sim's talking about, but Urban Dictionary says that it's an acronym for Get in My Pants.
Oh,
my God. Yeah, no, yeah, GIMPs are like full body, all leather, like tight black leather sex stuff. It is like,
No.
yeah.
No, it is also an ableist slur. I was right.
You can
It's that too.
you can imagine like the you can imagine the avenues they go into by me just describing it as that.
So today
It's like
I'm learning on
hardcore
getting
S&M
started. I
stuff.
learned what a GIMP is.
Yeah.
On a similar note, let's talk about tits.
Oh, that's a
Oh
great
my
transition.
Tits!
I love and hate tits so much. Oh my god.
So tits, what does it stand for? Mafi, enlighten us.
Uh,
Do Do you not
Pass.
remember?
No, I'm kidding. Twitch integrated throwing system. So, does someone actually want to explain?
Yeah. Yeah, I can explain. Just give me 1 second. So it's basically it's paid for. It's not free. And it is a software that you can use to have your chat bully you and throw things at you. So they can pay money or channel points. They can do all of those things, and they can throw things at you. I might be demonstrating it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe you can see it. Maybe I have it turned off on this overlay. Maybe I'm a smart lady.
I think it is definitely turned off.
Dang it. I don't have. I was throwing things at myself anyway. Rip. Guff.
Yeah. I also use tits. But lately, I guess not anymore because it'll just randomly disconnect and not be working for like the rest of the stream. So like, I don't know. I've grown kind of sick of it, to be honest.
It definitely feels like there are alternatives, and I think Paz might be able to kind of allude to like the better alternatives or the new savvy, cool Sugoi desu core tits alternatives. Where like with tits, it just feels like I'm running like essentially like 2 games at the same time. And that's not including anything else that you might have like on top of that. So it's a great starter for like understanding how to throw things at yourself, but eventually it probably won't be so great. I really hope something else kind of like picks up and kind of puts tits in its place.
There it is, Baggles. Now we see it.
Yeah.
As for alternatives, now I can't say for certain, but I do believe Wardio and VNyan, which basically would replace for 3D VTubers your VC phase, they might have the ability to integrate something built into that, but that would require some intimate knowledge in the actual software itself.
So,
go ahead.
I can speak a little bit to tits and tits alternatives. The pros of tits is that it is incredibly easy to find and add new things into it. And I would say that's where it has the edge. Most other alternatives to the throwing softwares or throwing redeems, it is a little bit more difficult to actually add things. With tits, you can add any PNG or any 3D model that you find on like Sketchfab or things like that pretty much into this file. And it just kind of becomes one of your redeems. It's pretty user-friendly in that regard. It does have technical issues, and it takes up some PC power for sure. Yes, VNyan has a throwing setup now. It is pretty new. That software has been rapidly developing over the last year, adding a lot more features for 3D VTubers. But of course, if you're 2D, VNyan can't be your alternative, and they are different, and it is harder to add items into those throw redeems. Warudo, I don't have a lot of experience with, but I believe it's a similar concept where it's just harder to add things.
You can add your 2D avatar to Wardio, if I recall correctly. I do remember seeing... Yeah, that. I do remember seeing a video of it, and it's really interesting. They had the 3D model next to the 2D model in a 3D space, so when they turned the camera, the 2D model still stayed 2D, but it was still like, it's kind of like a Paper Mario scenario. Whereas
Paper Mario scenario.
The other thing is, Polypop doesn't naturally have a throwing system, but you can throw things in it, but it won't have, like, for example, with tits, like, if the model gets hit, it itself naturally acts if it gets hit, if you have it enabled. With Polypop, there's no physical connection between it and your model, so you kind of like when you get hit, you just kind of have to, oh, I got hit kind of deal, you know, or if you want to add that element.
Yeah, tits does have the ability, you're right, to integrate the physics element to it. If you are 3D, it does not work reliably with VNyan that I found, but was very reliable with face. So you'll notice when I was spamming the crap out of hitting myself with things, I wasn't moving.
Yeah.
So I used Vinyan.
Yeah, if I were to like actually boot up tits and start throwing things, you will see my model like bounce around a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so I forgot it does work for.
You're essentially like the spark notes of how, like, other than what Baguette got into earlier, to make it hit you and make it look like it's hitting you. You're essentially placing like this kind of, it looks like a crime scene kind of cutout of like a man. You just kind of place it under you, you make it transparent, and then as long as it's like in the right range of your model, your model should behave as if it's being hit.
Yeah, it does affect your tracking though. You have to disable your spine pretty much for it to work. So it will affect.
You have to disable your spine.
Tracking works. Yeah, it's kind of more complicated than that. But there's lots and lots of YouTube tutorials on how to get it set up.
Damn.
So if we're good on starting.
We're going a long way for this streaming thing.
What about good starting practices?
Be consistent.
Be consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
true.
one.
Be consistent.
One I would recommend is ignore your viewer count. And the reason I say that is when you start streaming and you look at it and you see 0, you're going to act like, oh, well, there's no one here, so I'm just going to wait and just be myself, just play the game. I'm not going to be interactive. But the problem is, it's like someone hops in, your viewer count doesn't automatically update. It takes a minute or so. So if they see you not engaging with the audience, they're going to go, all right, I'm out of here, and they're going to leave. And basically, essentially, you not putting on the performance per se is gonna keep that number at 0. But if you're constantly engaging, and if you don't know, you in your mind you have it visually set like, oh, there's people watching me, you're gonna act as if you're being watched, and those are gonna draw the people to you. So it self-perpetuates.
If I had to give like top tips, I would say number 1, have a plan when you go live. Especially when you're first starting out, that's really important. So I know like as you grow in your content creation journey, it gets easier, right? To just kind of go live and do whatever. You see streamers do like spontaneous live streams that they weren't planning on doing, or changing up what they're going to do on stream at the last minute.
Why do I feel called out?
No, I do it too. Like I've done that, but yeah, some of you do those things a lot. But and it gets easier, right? Because with experience comes the ability to think on your feet, to roll with the punches easier, to adapt, to set things up live. You'll hear, fuck it, we're doing it live. Like, and it just happens, right? But when you're just getting started out, you're already going to be managing so many other things. So have a plan, know what you want to do, have an idea for how you want the stream to go, about how long you want to stream for. Have your game picked out, make sure you've tested it. Make sure you've tested everything before you go live so that you're not spending half of your stream just dealing with that stuff and getting frustrated. And make sure that like chat is in a visible spot, because I it's unfortunate, but I can't tell you how many people I've popped in their streams when they have, not too many viewers and said hello and they don't say hi back. And it's really disheartening as a viewer because
I want to put a footnote in that and come back to that one particularly.
Yep. Okay. We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah,
but
I want to come back to that.
Have your stream set up the way you like it, so you can see everything you need to see, test everything, and have a plan. Super duper important when you're getting started.
Definitely test everything. You don't want to do like a birthday stream, and when you go live, you find out that your mic isn't working, and you have to spend like an additional like almost 5 minutes just fixing that on top of it, when you're already people are waiting, people are in chat and they're talking and they're like, oh, why can't we hear him? You wouldn't want that. All right, test your stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Give yourself that 10 to 15 minutes before you actually plan on do streaming, if you have that kind of thing like scheduled ahead of time, I guess.
I spend 1 hour before stream going down my checklist, making sure my usual stuff set up, which unironically there's always something that seems to be missing.
Things will break between streams. Even if it was working last time you streamed, it won't work necessarily this time.
Yeah.
Be prepared for that. But
Yeah.
also, don't be. I'll caveat this with, if something doesn't work, as long as it's not one of your core things like your mic or your gameplay or one of those things, right? If it's just a redeem, let's say it's just not working, or is causing your neck to break, you can turn it off for a stream if you need to as well. Don't feel like everything has to be perfect, especially when you're starting out, like that everything has to be integrated and working. Like, as long as they can hear you, they can see the game, you can see them. That's all you need for a stream, right? The rest is just icing. It's frosting, baby.
To go back to the pen, if we're ready. So here's something I personally did, because like it just like as you mentioned, like when I started off stream, I did my best to like be interactive, but like the thing is, like streaming to 0 viewers, and like having only one monitor, it's just like sometimes I would miss those messages. Sometimes I would not respond until like easily like a minute after. Even right now, because I now do simulcasting between Twitch and YouTube, and I really I'm irked by YouTube's system, because even though I have it set up, this is what I used to do. Every time I would receive a message, I had a sound notification go off, and I made sure to choose something that was not obnoxious.
Butt up. I remember the butt ups pad.
That's a throwback and a half. Wow.
It would make it so that like I would physically hear it, and then I'll like, oh, there's someone chatting, and then I can engage with the chatter. Now the reason why I say with YouTube it's unfortunate, because like now simulcasting I have 2 chats to pay attention to, and the problem is with YouTube, the integration just doesn't work. I have it set up, it's supposed to work, but it doesn't. But needless to say, the point is all the same. Is like I would recommend choosing something that you yourself would not, and you would find that your audience members would not be annoyed with hearing, and like they would be like, when you get the message, it's like, oh, someone's chatting, and you don't ignore them, because like that crucial 1 minute is all you get before they're gone.
And it's your stream, so set it up in a way that makes sense for you accessibility wise. You know, if people who are neurodivergent might have different needs for how their stream setups need to be in order to, you know, deal with, like, I have really bad ADHD, so like I gotta be careful and make sure they're in the right places, because otherwise my eyes are gonna be all over the place and I look feral. So making sure that you have things set up the way that you need them. That's a good point.
Another thing I'd like to go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go on.
Well, I was gonna just make this one's a short one. Is like at the end of your stream, it doesn't have to be for every stream, but review your VODs. Just go back and listen to it, even if it's just like maybe a 30-minute section, like, because that's how you'll be able to catch something. But oh, that audio is really loud, because like, for example, even though I look at the audio mixer, and that's how I kind of gauge if something's too loud for like a viewer, like sometimes that just the way that shows is not how the viewer hears it. So it's like, just spend some time every now and then, go back, listen to some things, just review it, you know, check to make sure everything's good.
Yeah, and like
Actually, it's okay. It's
I'm not gonna cut you off again. Okay.
It's all right. Okay. I kind of go like the extra mile with it. So I have like a VOD channel. I do it mostly for the series that kind of have like a plot line that you can kind of like follow from start to finish. And what's really neat is I've gotten to the point where I feel like my content, I find it watchable to watch, or I find it pleasing to like watch myself, like replay. Like I notoriously watch back like my Super Mario Galaxy playthrough, and I'm like, you fucking idiot. Like, but at the same time, I'm like really like engaged in what I'm doing, and it's really neat. Like, it does give you that opportunity to check that audio balance, whether you're, you know, using stuff like Clipchamp, since you can't for some reason you can't really edit videos all too well just on your computer normally, so they just pushed it all into clipchat. But yeah, like getting those VODs out, and whether it's publishing them like properly on Twitch, make sure you are able to kind of refer back to those, just to see where you're at, you know. Sim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'll be real.
No.
I'll be honest, I forgot.
Maybe you'll remember.
I will say something new though. Learning to like be okay to listen to your like VODs and stuff like that is it's pretty. I wouldn't say that it's like important, but like it'll definitely like help you out as a content creator. By just like learning to accept that like this is what your voice sounds like in a recording, this is what you sound like on stream, this is how you interact, and like learning to like listen back to it and be able to like, I don't know, give yourself feedback almost. It's gonna help you out in the long run for sure, and you'll be able to like, I don't know, maybe like select clips yourself from like your VODs and stuff like that if you upload it to like a VOD channel, if you have that on YouTube or something. Because I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't listen to myself. I can't stand the way I sound in a
I used to
I'm
be
like
that.
Me too. I mean, I think most people are like that. I definitely was. I love watching my own clips now. I think that they're very funny. But the one thing I will say that like watching my content back has helped me with, yes, audio balance, but also performance. Like when you're piloting your VTuber and you're playing a game at the same time, you may not recognize exactly the way that your motions are translating, or like if you lose control of your face, like, and people don't realize like how different your face has to be behind your model sometimes to actually pilot the thing properly. Like if I were to just talk normally, you could see how already less animated she is and like how she's not moving as much. But as soon as I like start bringing my eyebrows, my face into it, I start moving my head a little bit more, she suddenly is a lot more animated. And so from a movement perspective, whether you're a VTuber or not, I think that the way we control our bodies and our faces is something that we may not even be conscious of. So yes, from an audio standpoint, but also from a visual standpoint. And it'll help you to perform better, because you'll see that like, oh shoot, when I leaned back in my chair, I lost tracking. Or if I'm an IRL streamer, flesh tuber, face cam, or whatever, oh, like that was actually out of my webcam view. I went out of webcam view for a second there, or I spent half of stream with half of my face cropped off, or whatever the case may be, right? And like catching those things and being able to correct for them early on really will help you build better quality content that's just kind of keeps those things out of the content. Important.
very important. Actually, I know a couple of streamers that would like not ever review their own footage, and after the stream they would like, for the first time ever, like look at their VOD and be like, why is only half of my face showing? Why did no one tell me? And I'm like, well, this is kind of on you, man. Like,
yeah.
You look back at your stuff.
That is something that's like important, and like especially like getting started. Haha, title. But like
Roll credits.
that you can't expect chat to pick up on stuff like that all the time. I think if, for example, if you're in the streaming sphere and your friends kind of like your fellow kind of friends that are content creators as well kind of pick up on something that they see as a glaring issue, they'll probably point it out, or like a loyal viewer kind of thing, and it's like a one-off. But sometimes like your mic will just sound funny, and like a new person can't tell that it sounds like that it's funny. They might just assume that it's the norm, right? Or that your model's behaving a particular way. It's always behaved that way because their sample size of you is not that large. Or some people are just like if it is just like regular, not regular viewers, but just like the occasional viewers, they might just not have picked up on the issue that, yeah, looking back on your VOD, that that you needed to really fix. I look back at my Deltarune VODs with a little bit of regret on that part, just because I remember chat wasn't super active, but I was looking back at them and going, why does my model look like that? And I realized what it was doing. It was like I had my like webcam a little bit too high or a little bit misplaced, so it kind of just looked like not entirely, but it almost looked like I was like sunbathing on the beach, like kind of like with my head up. And it looked really awkward. And you
Bobby was
do
like,
just have to, yeah, exactly. and it's so awkward to just kind of like realize that like retrospectively, but aside from paying attention to it while streaming, sometimes you can't, because you'll have, like me, I have everything on one monitor, which means I can't pay attention to everything. Some things might just be tabbed out. So definitely have that look. Don't be like that person that sim knows, I guess, and check it once in a blue moon.
Yeah, you want to check it like on a maybe not like on a regular basis, but like make it fairly regular at least.
Especially if you've implemented something new, that can be a great time to rewatch your VOD, right? So like, if you've tried something new, you have a new overlay or a new redeem or something, going back and looking and seeing how did that sound? Was that redeem really loud? Was my overlay did my overlay look good? Especially for me, I have multiple models. There have been times that I tested them against a potential overlay and been like, ooh, it actually really becomes way too monochromatic with this model because her outfit is this color, and so I have to be conscientious of that. And so like you can catch things like that, if not in advance, at least in your VODs.
Yeah.
Colors matter.
Colors do matter.
If you'd like to learn more about colors, we talked a lot about it in our previous episode about
Branding, yes.
branding.
Where can I watch that?
Oh, on the Level Up Live YouTube? You're already here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That'd be great. We'll just go right back over there.
So we got any
So-
other best practices?
I feel like just talk to the wall.
Yeah.
Talk to the wall.
Honestly, like it's kind of going back to like the whole like don't look at your view count. Like just always talk. Just keep talking, even if like even if you think that like no one is watching, chances are someone is. All right.
Yeah.
So like if you just keep talking and have like a constant flow going, it will make for a much better viewing experience than someone just playing the video game or whatever they're doing and being like dead silent.
Yeah. And if you're not talking, make faces, make body movements, do something, wiggle around. Sometimes I just wiggle.
I do the same thing. Like sometimes instead of like talking about what's going on, I sometimes just like start like moving around just because like it's something.
Like sway to the music of the game or something like that. But yeah, like narrate your gameplay. If you're playing something that requires skill, talk about why you're doing it. Okay, I'm gonna run up this hill and I'm gonna get the high ground because there's people over there and I'm gonna go shoot them and blah blah blah. Oh, I hear a noise over there. If you're playing a story game, talk about like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Okay, now I'm gonna walk over to this section. All right, now I wonder what I'm gonna find there. Yeah. Talk to the wall.
Reacting properly to like things happening in like a story video game is I don't know, man. You don't want to be like, I actually saw Jesse Cox mention this on Twitter, and it really mirrored how I felt about it too. Like if you're playing like let's say you're playing like Final Fantasy 14 and like there's a big like story moment where someone, I don't know, fucking dies. You don't want to be there and be like, yeah, thanks for the sub, X Gamer 9 to 5. Thank you for the 10 bits. You don't want to like sit there and like rattle off like just pay attention to what's happening on the screen and comment on it.
Yeah.
Don't like avert your gaze.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
shit,
also
that's
like
crazy. She died. Anyways.
anyways,
Yeah,
they
right.
give me your money.
Yeah, right. It's something that Jesse Cox mentioned. I was like, damn, yeah, no, I feel that.
It's and I think one thing that's important to remember, right, is that if people wanted to just see the game, they could watch a Let's Play on YouTube. They're watching a live stream for a reason. They want to experience something in the moment with another person or other people.
Yeah,
and so,
not only that, but they could have played the game themselves, and they're like, I can't wait for them to get to this moment. And then like the moment happens, they're like, oh yeah, thank you, Giga Gamer, Big Dick, thank you.
Man, I feel.
Okay, but if I was sobbing over a video game and somebody called Giga Gamer Big Dick followed me, I would 100% laugh. I would be like I can see myself be like.
I mean, I suppose if the specific follower, Giga Gamer Big Dick, followed you, it would be like, hold up, we need to stop the stream and talk about this.
Actually, she does have someone like that. She does. I still remember.
Oh my god. It's fucking the real Al Gore, the official Al Gore.
Yeah, the official Al Gore.
The official Al Gore.
Official Al Gore.
So let me tell these stories. I feel like he would always come in. I think I was laughing at something that happened in the game, and he popped in, and I went, "The official Al Gore is in my chat. You're so welcome here." Like. And like if he's ever popped in when someone was trying to be like, look,
so
the official Al Gore. Like
the official Al Gore is in my chat.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the planet?
He does.
What do I do?
He talks about the environment and the hunt for the man bear pig. It's great.
The hunt for the what now?
The man bear pig.
The man bear pig?
You don't know the man bear pig?
I feel like I shouldn't know about this.
I
feel like whatever
lore.
I feel like whatever I'm about to learn is like cursed knowledge.
Just watch some South Park. You'll eventually find it.
I'm good. It's been such a long time since I watched South Park.
You've said it out loud near your phone. It's gonna find you now.
Oh, actually, now I just thought about it. I have one really good tip. Just do it. I can't. There are so many people, like I personally know, like personally, that like they'll be like, hey, no, I'll do it. I'm gonna get started, and then they like do the research, and then they're getting all the equipment and spending all this money, and then try to get the perfect setup, and then they just don't do it because they'll find another excuse like, oh, well, I'm just not feeling it today, or I'm waiting for something else, or I'm waiting for an update, or maybe I'm waiting for a game to release. Just stream. Just do it.
Just click the go live button.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like that like even like 7 years into streaming as Lord Sim, like sometimes I need that like advice as well. Just do it. Just click the go live button. Because sometimes you can just be there like, oh man, I don't like this thing wasn't lining up the way I wanted to, so I wanna spend time fixing this. And like that could take like X amount of like hours or even like days, and I just want to make sure that it's like perfect. Just click the go live button, man. Just click the button.
There have also been times where I've like sat in my room waiting for my go live time, being like, do I want to stream today? Am I tired? How do I feel? And like I feel like okay, but I don't know like how I'm feeling yet. And then I hit go live, and then like somebody redeems first, and somebody else says, dang it, they got first, and I'm like, aw, I love you guys, butter, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I often find that sometimes, like, it's not always the case. I think sometimes if you're feeling absolute, like, dog shit horrible, yeah, take that night off. But if you are in that kind of, do I want to stream kind of thing, it's funny, because you'd think you'd lean towards, oh, maybe I'm not ready for it. But actually, stream often, especially, like, in that mindset, it's funny. Like, you almost have, like, a thing where it's like, oh, stream's not going to be that great today. And then it turns out to be, like, even if it's just all right, that'll, like, pick you up and just, like, I get, like, streaming highs, you know? Where, like, I'll be like, wow, I am so glad to be doing this thing regularly. Like, it makes me so grateful that I'm able to share these, like, gaming moments or whatever moments, like, with people again. And it gets rid of that kind of, do I really want to be streaming? Like, it might come after, like, I know I've been like having a lot of like false starts, for example, this year. I feel like IRL's been doing its best to kind of interfere with my streaming plans, but I do just like when I go for like a, what is it? It's like I've got a game that I like genuinely do want to play, and I'm like, do I want to stream today? Yes, you do. You're gonna have a great time. Like, and trust yourself to also have that great time.
Yeah, I will say, like, if you're like wavering between like, do I feel like streaming, do I not feel like streaming, there's a reason why you're asking that question, and it's not because you feel like bad and you don't want to stream. It's because you do want to stream that you're asking the question to begin with.
You'll know when you don't want to stream.
Yeah, the days when you don't want to stream, trust me, you will know. It will be like one of those days where, like, damn, nothing went well today. I feel like dog water. You know, I'm canceling.
Go onto your general chat and you'll pose the question and someone will respond and you'll be like, ugh, and then you know you don't want to stream.
Yeah, like that's so real. If you go into your main chat and someone like gives a response and you're like that you look at it and you go, ugh. Like, yeah,
it's a pretty good indicator you don't want to
call it
stream.
early. That's so
Man, guys, I don't know if I should stream today. You absolutely should.
yeah.
No, then you know you don't want to. I'm not speaking from experience.
My community is like the complete opposite. If I ask like, oh, should I stream today? People are so quick to be like, no, take the time off, King.
The time if you need it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, you guys are so nice.
And then you stream for us.
Yeah.
And sometimes you take the night off.
I've gotten a lot better. Like, listen, man, after 7 years of doing this, I feel like I know myself well enough to like, I know when I shouldn't stream. Like, I know when it's like a day where like I feel kind of okay, but then like the longer the day goes, I'm like, oh fuck, I should not stream today.
No. I think this leads to a point that we've touched on in previous podcasts as well. My other tip is don't overdo it. Don't burn yourself out. I think one of the mistakes I made when I got started was I was streaming 4 times a week, 5 to 6 hours per stream.
Ooh.
And I was dying. I mean, I loved it because I was playing games that I loved. I was having conversations with new people. It was all new and shiny. But I soon learned how unsustainable that was, not just with my energy levels, but with like my life, my sleep. I was like, this can't, like, I can't do 8 hours every Saturday. Like, and I found that also upped the ante later on in my streaming career when I would do big events. They were like, well, I usually stream for 6 hours, so like, is 12 that impressive, or do I need to do a 24-hour? And like, so like, be aware of your balance, not just your like work-life balance, your stream life balance, your work stream balance, your life stream balance, your life work balance, your physical balance, your dietary balance, your, I'm trying to think of other things, how your circus balance. I mean, all of it. Don't be a clown. Don't clown yourself.
That's a takeaway from all of this. Don't be a fucking clown, man. Like,
your kindergarten balance beam, balance. Important.
So we've talked about hardware, software, tips. Actually, what about platforms? What kind of, so for someone who's just wanting to get started and just in content in general, that doesn't have to be like live streaming, what about the different platforms? I myself, I'm partial to Twitch and YouTube with a little bit of side of TikTok. But what about you three? Like, what's your experience with the different platforms?
Platmans?
Yeah, platmans. Platforms, and like, what is your opinion? Like, their strengths or weaknesses? What would you recommend? And what would you wouldn't recommend?
Honestly, I feel like the most important thing, like, not even like going into like what kind of content you want to make. I feel like the most important thing for you, like when you're picking your platform, is which platform do you use yourself? If you use that platform yourself, yeah, you could probably see yourself like streaming on it or making content on it. Because like if you're not even using it yourself, like for me, for example, I just sort of like don't use TikTok. I don't know, can't use TikTok, despise TikTok in general. Love watching YouTube shorts, right?
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, so I gravitate towards YouTube way more than TikTok. So like, yeah, if I want to make shorts, it's gonna be for YouTube, and like maybe I will move them over to TikTok. Who knows? But like, yeah, pick the platform you actually wanna use yourself.
I think that's really good advice. I think the other thing I like to think about is, what am I looking to get from this platform, and how is it going to support my content creation journey, right? So like, there's different things. So when it comes to just content creation, right, we obviously have been focusing a lot on the live stream aspect. There are plenty of content creators who have gotten their start off of their platform. So you'll hear like a term from the VTuber community, like a V-tweeter. Okay.
I've never heard of this before.
You've never heard of a V-tweeter?
I've never heard of V-tweeter, but I instantly know what it
is. Yeah. So like, there are people who have models or who have a content creation brand that they are already developing before ever going live once. And that's through interacting on social media. They might have a TikTok community where they post little clips of a model that they haven't debuted yet, or like the process of them getting a model. They might just have gaming content that they post there, or they might interact with gaming blogs, or the V-tweeters, their big thing is they tweet. They go on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and they connect with people. They do all kinds of different things. You'll see people do follow for follow. I don't recommend it, but it's a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
You see people who will post art, who will just repost art and talk about art, who talk about VTuber drama, who talk about VTubing in general, the technology side. There are some ways that are healthier than others, but there are lots of ways to be a VTweeter. And they build hype for their eventual debut on their streaming platforms by creating a community on another platform entirely that's completely unrelated to streaming. Yeah. So whenever you're looking at a platform, think about what is it that you want to do with this platform, because it's going to affect how you utilize it, right? If your main point is networking, then you want to follow lots of content creators, you want to comment on their stuff, you want to be really invested in their journeys, you want to follow them other places, right? If your goal is marketing and promotion, you want to post regularly, you want to consider algorithms, you want to consider trends, and just being aware of all the different aspects of that, and then how you can go about doing that. On Twitter, that could be images, words, videos. TikTok, it has to be video content. You're not going to get anywhere if you're not making videos. Yeah. Right? So just keeping that in mind. I would say also being mindful when you're utilizing these platforms of the communities and what kind of community you want to build and what kind of community you want to be a part of. There are different audiences across all these things. A TikTok audience and a Twitch audience are different beasts. Yeah. You will have totally different experiences when you're live streaming. So going back to Sim's point, tune into live streams, see how they interact with their chats. That really matters, right? A lot of TikTok live is just thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift, person. And like calling out individual things like that. You have to know if that's something that's going to work for you and your content and what you want to be successful on that platform.
The only thing, man, the whole like TikTok NPC thing like ruined the way I view like TikTok live streams.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like it seems weird, but like I would classify TikTok live streams as greedier almost, but it's acceptable in that space, right? Like you're setting goals for these little gifts. You're calling them out above all else. that is just like the TikTok live stream culture. So that's what the viewers expect. So if you want to be successful on that platform, it's what you do. And like, if you're okay with that, cool. But if you're not, you're gonna have a variance of success. You can still be successful and not be that way, but it's a lot easier if you're playing into the status quo and expectations of the platform that you're on.
I think it's interesting, like with TikTok. I didn't even realize that. Like, I haven't used the app enough to even realize that that kind of expectation was there. I feel like something that I lurk on Twitch a lot. I kind of just like delve into like new streamers and like that are like just getting started and stuff like that, and curiously just kind of browse Twitch. But what was interesting is when Kick got introduced into the fold, and how everybody loves to hate on Twitch, and it feels like a weird hill to die on, but I actually support Twitch with a lot of the things that they do, and I think that they deserve a lot more flowers than they actually get. Funnily enough, I actually think Kick is one of the best things that happened to Twitch.
Yes.
When you think of like the type of not in terms of just competition, but also, to be honest, to me, the people that I would want to stream to do not come from Kick crowds, and it completely filtered it out. There's a little bit of it through YouTube, but I think that's just more testament to how big YouTube is. And I think YouTube should kind of be considered more of a every type of person possible kind of like
YouTube's a mixed bag for sure.
Yeah, like viewer pool. So, but with Twitch, I actually really love it. I think it's a lot more community oriented. I think it's a lot easier to find yourself. Like more interesting people to kind of meet. Like I think just structurally the website helps a lot more. And it's interesting that Kick kind of basically has the same exact structure with, I guess, just more unhingedness in my opinion. But yeah, like it's like Twitch is it's to me like kind of the standard. I just kind of wish YouTube was a little more Twitch-like.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's been something that I'd honestly consider switching to. I think the goal in my head, I started on Facebook. Facebook was like the thing, but I wouldn't really, I don't know. It was just a temporary thing that I'd mess around with. Plus I met a lot of Filipino creators there, which was really neat and cool, but it wasn't quite like the niches of that I was really into. But all in all, but in Twitch, I felt like I was a lot more at home. At YouTube, it feels like islands. That's how I describe it. It doesn't feel like I'm connected to anyone in particular. You're on your own. The raid system's kind of weird and fucky-wucky.
Yep.
I think channel points is weirdly something we like overlook in the streaming sphere. Maybe like as a viewer, as something that's really huge and is like one of like the big just kind of pillars of like I would stream on YouTube so much more if there were channel points.
The
Like, just straight up.
ability for your audience to interact with you in the stream for free is huge.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's
massive.
what most other platforms are missing. It is almost always paid or nothing. And while, of course, if you're especially wanting to use content creation to pay your bills or to supplement your income or whatever, right? That can be a really good thing that people are highly incentivized to put money into your content. And of course, from the platform standpoint, put money into the platform. But we know that I think as content creators, what you'll find is, you know, only a certain percentage of your audience is going to be able to monetarily support you. And that's just the nature of the internet, right? There's so many people on the internet. Not everybody is going to choose you as the thing they want to put extra money into. They have so many options to do that in real life, on the internet. The chances, like statistically, of them saying, oh yeah, I picked this one, and then choosing you to like support monetarily is low, which is why you should also be very grateful if anybody does.
Yes.
We can maybe talk about that later, but I will say, like, the ability for people who do not have the option or who are just not going to choose you to still interact with your stream helps to boost you in the algorithm because you have higher view counts from the people that you retain through that. It makes the streams more fun. It makes them more accessible. It actually creates a community that's not just whoever can pay, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I actually find it to be a huge turnoff when I go into a community and it feels like the only way that you matter in the community at all is if you are just dumping money into the stream. Like, I feel like that's probably a turnoff for a lot of people.
Yeah, the don't talk to me unless you pay for a subscription kind of streamer.
How do you not have $5?
You don't have $5?
I'm not worth $5 to you. It's going up
like,
$6 soon.
It's like, yeah, no, I have $5. Just don't want to give them to you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna react like that. Jesus
Yeah, exactly.
Christ.
Yeah. So, like, I think that Twitch does really good work when it comes to letting you build a community. I really do. I think it's my favorite streaming platform of all of them that I've looked at.
Twitch is the
I've
king
thought about
of
TikTok,
live
but
streaming.
TikTok is just a cash grab place. I'm gonna be real. Like, I feel like every stream I watch there is just for money.
See, I get that
Building
with
for money.
Kick. Like,
Yeah.
lots of the conversation with Kick is, like, it's not, I don't know if this stems from, I watch a lot of football, like soccer football, where it's all about the passion kind of thing. You mentioned money, like playing for the money, get the frick out of here, you know? And it kind of feels like with Kick that it's just, you want to be a content creator just to earn the big bucks. You do not actually care about those individual people that are watching you. You just want to get there.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Kick's one of their primary marketing tools was their split was higher than Twitch's, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The 9 to 5 split.
Yep. Which, like, I can be sympathetic in that some people, content creation is their job, right? And you want to be maximizing your profit from your job. But
Yeah, like I totally get it. I did like a test stream on Kick myself just to see like how I felt about it and like how like does it feel like weird and different, or is the crowd kind of like the same? And I'll be real, I did that one stream and then I was like, nah, I get the ick. I get the ick from this.
Yeah.
the ick from Kick.
Yeah.
Personally, I'll never judge someone for streaming on Kick, and like if you want to go for it, like if that's you want the better split, that's fine. But like one thing I do want to mention is like there is a it's a lot of things that's like not said out loud. It's the elephant in the room, but like there is a negative public perception to it, and it's just something that I feel like if you're just getting into this, that this should be something that you should be aware of. That if you're not told this, like, well, you're being told now, but like it's something that you should be aware of because like if you're once a Kick streamer, I don't know, it hasn't been around long enough, but I feel like if that gets associated with your brand, that's gonna stick with you. And even if you're the most wholesome, like anti-monetization person, like you do everything for free, like you're really wholesome, you do it for charity, you could be like the best person. Just because you streamed on Kick, there may or may not, I'm not sure, it hasn't been around long enough, but I would assume that negative perception is going to attach to the brand, like, oh, it's a Kick streamer. I'm already seeing it now. There are streamers that stream on Kick, and, well, I personally don't think they're all that bad of a person. Like, because they're associated with Kick, they got a brand attached to them that's not a great public perception.
Yeah.
I think this goes back to Sim's original point of make sure it's a platform that you enjoy using, because you will be more familiar with what the expectations culturally are on that platform, right?
Yeah.
Like, I could go live on TikTok at any point, but I don't like TikTok live except for Blair's. Blair's is the only TikTok live that I stand. caveat.
Same though.
Caveat. Like hers is good because she doesn't do she's not falling in with like the tropes of 90% of streams on there.
She literally treats it like a Twitch stream. That's the thing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So
she literally like goes out of her way to make TikTok like specifically function as a Twitch stream. Like she has a whole like setup for it and everything, and I've helped her test out a few things, and yeah, it's just.
But again, like if you're choosing a primary platform, which let's be real, every content creator has a primary platform, right? Whether you stream on 4 platforms or not, there's one that's your primary. You'll want to be aware of like what is the culture of that platform as a whole.
Yeah.
What niches exist that I fit myself into? What side of the platform do I want to be on?
What stance am I taking on this platform?
Probably one with 2 legs. Anyway.
Do I stan Iron Mouse or am I against her?
Oh God, we're getting political.
To cinema roll or not to cinema roll?
Oh no. Oh no. I think we could probably lead into another topic. There's no other thoughts on this
I was
one.
literally gonna mention like, what about defining your content? Like,
because I was gonna say your platform can also be chosen by what content you want to create, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to be a vlogger or like a la Jake Paul style videos, like YouTube is better for you.
Yeah. YouTube is kind of like there for that.
Yeah, but like when it comes to live streaming, discoverability and things like that, like Twitch is really great for that. So as you're thinking through your content, that can also lead to a decision, right? I mean, like, yeah. So how would all of you guys define your content?
mine can
I'm
be
the funny haha man on the internet.
Okay, funny,
mine's
haha.
simple as it's interactive. Nothing more to be said.
Sure is, Pass. Mafi.
I think for story-based games, almost like Let's Play kind of thing, which is interesting because I don't think it's an interesting question to ask because I don't think my style of content very much exists on Twitch often, but I think I embrace it for that exact reason.
Well, you're defining a niche. And that's the one thing like that's great with niches is like if it doesn't have I don't want to use the word product, but like if it's not being presented as an option for a viewer and you're the only one in that category that's producing that kind of content, guess what? You have the whole market per se. Like now, granted, like defining a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche, like, you know, because like VTuber from like streaming, and then from VTuber you're doing like story gameplay, like, but still, like you're capitalizing on a market that is unutilized. Like that's all yours. That's free real estate.
And especially like if you're doing like story-based games, treating it more like a Let's Play.
Or like
I
a
feel
walkthrough
like-
kind of thing. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, like a walkthrough or a Let's Play depends on like how you go about it, but like oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. No,
Nah.
no, my thought
But I think that
disappeared
there's-
mid-sentence.
There's definitely a market for all kinds of things, right? So like some people straight up just want to watch somebody else play the game.
Yes, wow, that's literally what I was gonna say. Thank you.
Yeah, you go. I got you. Read your mind.
Thank you.
Like that's some people. So people I feel like are drawn to I will say that I personally believe that people are drawn to streams, specifically live streams, for the streamer. I think the game can contribute heavily. I think that the content that you create can contribute heavily, right? Like if you have really chaotic content, but they want something more chill, even if they love the game that you're playing or they like you, that stream might not be for them that day or that week or that forever, right? Like the way that you go about doing things matters. I think they're there for the streamer though. Like ultimately what you bring is the whole point. Because again, even if you're doing let's play style live streams, if somebody wants just the game or just the tutorial, they can go on YouTube and find the tutorial for the part that they're working on, or find a let's play of something with no commentary and just watch it through. I used to do that all the time because I couldn't afford video games growing up. And so I didn't have a PC to play them on. So any games I wanted to watch, I just watched somebody play on a let's play.
Yep.
But when I got older and was playing games myself, I found more wanting to interact with somebody, right? Like I'm playing through a game, I get to this moment and I'm like, I wish there was somebody here that I could turn to and say, oh my gosh, did you see that? Wasn't that so cool? Let's talk about it. Or, oh, they just did this cool moment with the game writing. Or, oh my God, look at the graphics. Look how pretty that sky looks. For a while, that was just Cloud. I sat on the couch and I would go, Cloud, come look at the sky. And this is how I knew that I needed to stream video games.
Yeah.
But like your chat is the same way, right? Like they're there for you. They're there for you. And so keeping that in mind will help you evolve and adapt your content a lot, because ultimately, like, you are going to fit into a niche of some kind. There's going to be things that work and things that don't work. And you're going to find that out just by trying it out, just by testing it.
Yeah, be objective about what kind of things that you're doing, or in this case, like the content you're bringing forward. Like, I love Genshin. Like, I love the story. I don't really care for how they monetize it, but like the gameplay, everything else, like I really do enjoy. But like I've done several streams of it, and they just tank, and it's not because of like, but it's because of like how my content is. It's very interactive. But like Genshin, when you play, it's like you're just sitting back there, you have a good time, you're looking at the pretty visuals, you know, and you're experiencing the story. Whereas with my viewers, they rather just, you know, hey, you know what would be hilarious? Let's throw a frying pan at Paz. Hey, you know what would be hilarious? Let's kill Paz. Hey, you know what would be hilarious? And it's just like, that's not really conducive to like playing and watching Genshin, because like all the noise that they'll do with, like, for example, my pet owl just overrides whatever story may be going on in the game, and then I don't get to experience it, and the viewers aren't really there for it. So it's just like, it's not really conducive. So I'd say like, be objective, just have an understanding. Like I still recommend you do what you enjoy, but like also understand like your audience is there for a particular reason, and just understand what that reason is, and kind of either work around it in a way, not like really break it, but like find workarounds, or just kind of just ride the river down the road. Or, river down the road. Ride the river.
The river down the road.
Look, I'm not the smartest.
I love you, Paz.
I think what I found really neat, I guess going back to the Let's Play walkthrough kind of thing that I like go about with, and like you guys brought attention to a great point, like, yeah, that doesn't work if I don't like make myself a little more distinctive to the just general walkthrough long play kind of experience. And what's interesting is I think I was playing like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like it's me playing it for the first time, so there's that aspect of first time reactions to things which people love, right?
Yeah.
And then there's just, I commentated on it so much and had such a great time with it that people that I didn't think would play the game started playing it. It is wild to me that like there are just some things that like have a good time on stream. like pick your, like, I think picking your games well and defining yourself with like, I think I define myself with a really good time through a walkthrough. I think that's like a better, more evolved way of like describing it, where it's like I will drop a game if I don't like it. I'm not gonna continue that series, that kind of thing. But you are like living and breathing that first time experience with me, or you're watching back. Like a lot of the people that watched during the Danganronpa kind of like era, a lot of them were just waiting for me to like cry or something, because like my favorite character died or something, and like everybody was like Pika creasing. It's like Pikachu holding their like mouth with their like paws or whatever, and just like it's coming, and I'm like, what is coming? What are you guys plotting? And it's that it's way more, and it's evolving. Yeah, like I don't think straight up like you guys like mentioned like quite a few times, like you will just go to YouTube and watch it if you don't have those aspects for sure.
Exactly.
So make your like user like kind of experience unique in that sort of sense. Otherwise you might just be a statistic.
Yeah, I mean, because like I feel like if you boil, this is gonna be maybe controversial, but if you boil down content creation, I feel like you go into like there's two ways to be a successful content creator. You can either be super duper good at something,
Yep.
right? The ninjas of the world, or you can have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Like, because even if you're, I say this at work all the time, because people find out that I do this, and like we had like a Mario Kart tournament at work, right? And someone said, "It's not fair. She's a professional gamer." And I just looked at them and I said, "You can make plenty of money on the internet being bad at video games."
Absolutely.
And I say money because, of course, you know, people in my corporate office, that's all they speak, right? They don't speak community or anything else. You just have to tell them you make money and then they accept it. But like, you can have a fantastic community centered around you sucking at a video game.
I feel like that has not been more true than when you look at Game Grumps.
Yeah!
Because, like, the Game Grumps, it's two people, they're really fucking funny, but man, they suck. They suck at the games they play. It's awful. So like sometimes you're like literally just like yelling at the screen for them to do like the most obvious thing, because it's so intuitive, and for some reason it's just not happening. But because it's not happening, that becomes like a funny moment to you, and like that's like why they stand out.
And the difference with them is that they're having a good time, right?
Exactly.
If somebody is just like rage baiting, that's not fun. We don't like that. Like, you're just rage baiting. But if you're having a good time, people are gonna enjoy that. Throwback to when I rage baited Sim though on my content though. When I just followed, do you remember when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom and I just solved the shrines wrong on purpose?
You had a good time rage baiting.
But I had a good time, so everyone else did.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. I was also having a good time. I was playing into it.
I know. But people literally ask, like, you should do more streams where you just boot that game back up and do the shrines going again. That was a blast.
Yeah.
Because I was very bad at the game, but I was having a great time.
I will say I was very impressed at like the game is like it's literally it's like telling you, it's like screaming at you, this is the solution, and you're like, yeah. Well, I don't fucking think so. I'm gonna do my own thing.
What if
and
I
then
lift
the fact
this
that you
fan
somehow
into the air and
made
just
it
jump off
work.
of it? Yeah.
And that's like
from,
generally impressive.
I feel like this is from, you know, like in math class where like it's like, well, you didn't do it the way I wanted you to. Like that kind of thing. It's like, you got the right answer. In fact, your formula probably works, but don't do it that way. What's wrong with you?
But yeah, having a good time. Have a good time on stream.
It's,
like what you do.
Yeah, it's for real. Like, this is a 2-step formula. Why did you make it 12 steps? Like,
It was fucking fun.
that's how I felt watching Baggles play Tears of the Kingdom.
Because it was a good goddamn time.
Yeah, I know. and because you were like egging me on, like specifically me, I was like, all right, let's make some content happen. I'll feed into it. Here we go.
Good shit. Good shit. Oh man.
One thing I want to say is like also, don't feel tied down to like a type of content. Don't be afraid to expand and experiment. Yeah, I understand like what your audience is there for, what they want, but also just like if you feel tied down to that specific style of content and only ever do that, I think that's a quick way of burning yourself out, because like you need to experiment, kind of figure out, and actually sometimes it just might, you never know, if that new thing that you just tried out might just be what sends you to the moon, you know?
So do we all want to go around and like, I feel like we've all done this, like name a time that you tried something new and it worked, and name a time you tried something new and it didn't work and what you learned from it.
Oof.
I can start. That's while you guys think. So I'm gonna start with the thing that I tried that that didn't work. So I tried early on in my streaming career to play this game called Little Witch in the Woods. It was a game that I had enjoyed a little bit off stream, but hadn't been able to stick to. It's a super duper cozy game. I back then was much cozier of a streamer than I am now. But there wasn't a ton of story or dialogue, and I was not comfortable enough in my ability to talk to the wall to really carry a game like that. And so I streamed it for like the 5 hours that I always streamed everything. And I just felt like so drained at the end, and I could tell that people were not into it. I had come off of Life is Strange. I had tons of chat interaction during that game, and like Plague Tale and things like that. But this game, for whatever reason, just was not hitting. People were not engaged. I was not engaging. It didn't work, and so I quickly switched away from it and chose to do something else. On the flip side, what worked later on, which is kind of funny because it's an inverse story. I'd been playing a ton of Tipsy Elden Ring, absolute chaos streams, right? I'm dying, I'm drinking, chat is making me dance, crazy times consistently all the time. And I, for whatever reason, had this inkling to play this old 3DS game called Style Savvy Trendsetters. I've talked about it on other podcasts, but I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to play this game. And it was the same thing. I actually picked it back up on my DS, and I was playing through it, and I find myself turning to Cloud being like, haha, look, this thing says that she has a giraffe sticker collection. How quirky. Like, it's such a weird fact to know about this person who's coming into my shop. Like, and I was like, damn, I should stream this. Like, I feel like I have funny little things that I noticed that I want to share with somebody. And I was like, but will people like this? Like, at this point, I had most of my frequent flyers were dudes in my chat. I knew this, and I was like, I don't know, man. Are they gonna be able to, like, how am I gonna take a chat that loves Elden Ring and turn them into a chat that loves style savvy trendsetters? And
I mean, they're basically the same game.
Absolutely cutthroat industry. You're right.
Yeah.
And so I did talk to a couple of my fellow content creators, ran it by them, and their advice to me was, if it's a game that you love, chat will love it because chat is there for the streamer. So just stream it, see what happens. And those streams were like super successful. I had tons of chat and engagement. I had added new redeems before that were getting redeemed. And people were like, I had a blast. I didn't think I was gonna like watching you dress up mannequins over and over again, and yet I did. So those are my, I'd say, big example. Trying new things.
Yeah. So
Timing matters.
Yeah, for me, I guess one time I tried out. So like I'm not like known for like Metroidvanias and stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play a Metroidvania. I'm gonna literally play a Metroid game. So what I did was I started playing Metroid Dread on stream, and I was doing the same thing I was normally doing. I was just like talking at the wall, like just treating it like almost like a let's play, but like keeping chat engaged and stuff like that. And like it was just not clicking with anyone. To the point where at the end of the stream I was like, man, I felt like chat was like strangely like really quiet today. Like I was doing like my usual shtick, and it was just not hitting with anyone. I went to check the analytics of that stream in particular. It was like, yeah, no, you were streaming for like 1 viewer average. I was like, what? Oh no! Damn, people hated this. So that was like a wake up call for me. Like, hey, maybe don't do Metroid Dread on stream. Maybe do something else. So that was
specifically Metroid Dread, not allowed.
Dude, like specifically, I'm like what I'm guessing is that it's like a Metroid game that like it's not Super Metroid, it's not Metroid Fusion, it's not like these like old Metroid games that have been around for like a long time that everyone has played. It's Metroid Dread. It's fair. It's not like new, but it's like new enough to like where people haven't played it, and it's like technically the most like furthest along in the chronological order of the video games. So like the story like matters. So like people like, oh, this Metroid game with a story that I'm not familiar with, I'm probably just not going to click on this. I'm probably just not going to watch this until I feel like I've had the time to engage with the game myself. So that was like one time when I tried something new and like it just did not click with anyone. Which was a shame because I was hyped about Metroid Dread, and now I finally have the time to play it off stream and enjoy it. And man, Metroid Dread is a great game. Holy crap. One time I tried something new though. I went completely out of my comfort zone, and instead of being funny haha man, I was cozy haha man. And I streamed Strange Horticulture, and people were like super down to just be like little plant person, just figuring out plants and stuff like that, and like figuring out puzzles and stuff. And I don't know, I felt like I did my usual thing, and like everyone was like, yeah, no, this is great.
yeah. I'm still salty with you as a viewer that you finished the game off stream after instead of streaming a second time.
Listen, I did not mean to do that. I was just like, man, that was such a good stream. I'll just keep playing a little bit off stream. Oops, final day. Oh no, the game is over. Like it just kind of happened.
All I gotta say is when Strange Antiquities comes out, we're just gonna play it together, Sim.
Dude. I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
That way you can't go on without me.
Listen, it was just fun.
No, it was, and you were having fun, and so chat was having fun.
Very important, because I was having fun. Chat was having fun. Like going back to that whole thing, like chat can really tell like when you're having a genuinely good time or when you're phoning it in. Chat can smell it.
It's so obvious when you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
All right, Mavi Paz, tell us your stories. Tell us your tales.
Do you want to go first,
Of
or would
new
you rather
adventure.
Mustachios first.
Okay. I already mentioned that Genshin was my biggest failure. I also didn't mention how much. I can't say for certain right now, but I think roughly like 6 months ago, I looked into my analytics. I streamed over my entire time of streaming, I think it was like 54% of it was Genshin. That's how much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right? Thinking about it now, like watching all my streams, you would have never thought it, would you? But yeah, that's how much.
I actually remember you doing Genshin streams, but I don't remember the Genshin part of the stream.
Exactly. So
Same, actually.
it was probably my biggest flop as far as streaming, but Oh god, I had a lot of successes. Like there's the radio streams that I do early in the morning. There's the VR streams. And I really, really do enjoy the VR streams. There was adding Mr. Andy was another great. Well, great for the audience
well.
edition.
Well.
Oh my god, I could go on and on, but like. That's some of them.
Your
What about you?
Chaos Tricks integration is just has. That's all I'm gonna say.
What about you, Mafi?
It's really interesting. Like, I think it's not as binary as this, although I've found that this is a trend that I'm like, you know what? Like upon like reflection, it just kind of makes sense, and I'm kind of, it's a compliment in a way, but like often with games that have, I play a lot of story-based games, but either they're commentated or what is it? They're voiced already, or you have to voice the characters yourself and give them personality, etc., etc. And it's the ones that are voiced already that for some reason I say for some reason they don't stick. And I think it's because I kind of have to take that backseat of I can't talk all the time because I'm almost interrupting the game, that I guess that turned people off kind of thing, because I've noticed that on those kinds of games the streams don't perform nearly as well. And this isn't even a game, right? This is, let's take it back to like December 2021, and I just randomly went, I'm going to stream myself reading a book.
Ooh.
I consider myself like in a 5 to 10 average viewer range. I think sometimes on a good day 10 to 15. I was averaging like 24 people the whole time.
Dang.
I was reading a book about emotional agility. It wasn't even plot. It was like a psychology, sociology book.
Mafi, I'm gonna need to request the next this week that you stream that content like all day long, please.
Because
I
think people
need that.
just love me as background noise, and
You are great. You're great.
I think to some people, or not even just background noise, but I don't have the most active chat. But what I've noticed when I raid out, there's still a bunch of you there because you watch me like television, like as if it's just on, like, and like when you take away me in the form of the voice lines are already like voice acted and such, you get less of that. You're just hearing,
The video game.
yeah, you're just hearing the video game, right? But because I'm voicing while also like making fun of people or whatever, or just in the most extreme form, just reading a book and just talking about that. Like I would read a paragraph and then discuss where I read, like what I read.
I'll say I
Go
spent
on.
many an evening in the last couple years with a Mafia stream going while I'm like cooking, and so I can hear it, but my phone's like far away, and I just like I'll be like sautéing onions, and you'll say some snarky comment, I just go.
Yeah, like that's the beauty of it, and it's
Yeah.
it's something you have to also realize when you like. We're saying all these things that didn't work for us or did work for us. You need to have that. You need to still have that stuff that didn't work, because that's how you learn where your bounds are in the streaming sphere. You need to take those L's.
Yeah.
Like, if it's that one like average viewer stream, fine. That was one stream. Maybe you tried it again, just for anomaly's sake, or yeah, like, and then you're just like, no, I got this. But it was a learning experience. Don't negatively beat yourself up on it. You've got other things to try. Like even now, like although I mentioned like the walkthrough thing, like I don't know, like alcohol drinking counter or whatever, about like the let's plays and walkthroughs I do, I'm actually already thinking about going for like a different kind of approach. I've streamed Honkai Star Rail recently, and I want to develop a sample size on how that goes. I've been watching a lot of Small Ant and Point Grow lately, and just kind of like their challenge things with like the way they restrict themselves, and I'm just like, that'll be interesting. Let me just try it. If it doesn't work, if I develop enough of a sample size and go, not quite it, like, then I'll drop it. You know? Don't be
I
afraid
will
to try
say,
it.
people that have played like a game for a long time, they love watching challenge videos of that game.
Right.
That's why there's so many challenge runs of The Sims. There's so many.
Oh my
Like
god, the Sims.
rags to riches, generation challenge. Like there's so many.
I watch a lot of like dumb Sims challenges on TikTok, mostly build challenges because I like that stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, like dude, I feel like the Sims community is just so diverse in like what kind of content you can make out of it. And I'm like, this is one video game, right? This is a single video game? How do we have so much content for it?
When
What?
are we gonna get the VTuber
Crazy.
streamer house challenge?
Oh my god, we got it though. I mean, Murph and I started it off. We made each other. And in The Sims. So just gotta make everybody else now.
Yeah.
Dream house.
And then we can burn mac and cheese together.
Yeah. Oh, Blair would be so upset.
No, she won't be because it won't be soupy enough.
That's
Trust
what
me.
I'm saying. She'll
If-
be upset.
No. If it can catch on fire, it's not soupy enough.
Oh no. Oh no.
Like she wants 90% milk.
She just wants cheese flavored milk.
Actually,
That's
no,
really
I'm like
what
that,
it is.
because I hate cheese. I hate cheese. I do that. Blair fist bump. Bro
Huh?
fist.
You hate cheese? What? I feel like this is more important to talk about. What?
Okay, it's funny.
Sim doesn't want to
Not-
help you start your career. Sim just needs to know why Moppy doesn't like.
Yeah, well, just getting started. Who gives a shit? What? You don't like cheese?
It's actually another topic in itself, how I brand myself around cheese, ironically. I don't like cheese. I hate it. So my mom makes, this is such a tangent, but let's do this anyways.
We're doing it.
My mom makes pizza, right? Like, I don't normally just like eat out and get pizza, and she'll make it in a way where I can perfectly peel off the cheese and go, sauce spread.
Oh, I'm offended.
The sauce spread goes hard.
But like, if there's
would
there's
you-
one emote on Twitch I associate with Moffy that's not the cat shake, it's the stinky cheese.
Yeah.
It's the stinky cheese.
Why would you just not have cheese on your pizza? Why would you peel it? Why would you peel it off?
My mom makes it anyway, and then I get mad at her. I'm like, why did you do this to me?
To be fair, the cheese acts as a barrier between the oven air and the sauce that prevents the
That
sauce
is
from
true.
drying out.
Yeah. As a
Not
lid.
defending it, I'm just explaining it.
I'm upset.
All right, this might be a great opportunity to talk about networking.
Yeah.
Don't tell Sim you don't like cheese, or he won't be your friend.
You'll do it. Yeah. It's a pretty
Popularity in
important box to
Sweden?
tick.
Absolutely not. I go to Orebro or like Stockholm, I'm screwed.
Dude. It's listen. A very important box to tick for me when it comes to friendship kind of like is, do you like cheese? Like genuinely unironically.
So, what are some ways that you guys have networked or like met with other streamers? Like, what are some tips you would give to somebody who's new when it comes to interacting with maybe content creators that you look up to or want to collab with? I think this is discussed heavily on like Twitter. But we can bring it into the podcast sphere. Like, what are some tips you would give?
There's a super important thing to say up front. Don't look at other streamers as an avenue for you to promote your own stream. Don't do that. Do not do that. If you want to like network with people, it should be because you genuinely enjoy their content and you want to connect with them as a person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not because you're like,
we can smell that a mile away when we
exactly like you're like fucking like bloodhounds. Like you can smell it. You can smell like when someone's just like after like a quick like shout out or something and like a raid and stuff like that. You can smell that miles away. Like, be genuine. Be interested in the person that like you're looking at and you're like, oh yeah, I would like to network with this person. Like, step one is like and enjoy the person that you want to network with. Like, don't look at them as like a number for you to increase your follower count. Exactly. Yeah. They're not a tool for you to use.
And they'll know.
Like, yeah, they'll know.
The same way the chat knows when you don't like a game, a streamer knows when you're trying to use them for their platform.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the most important thing to say up front.
Agreed. Paz Mafia, other thoughts?
I think a good... Actually, go on, Paz.
No, go ahead.
Let's hear you.
Go ahead. I have mine written down so I can't lose my thought.
Oh, fair. So take notes.
Whoa. Listen here. I have bullet points written down.
I kid.
I know.
What's it called? And this actually got me onto Twitch in the first place, is watching a bunch of the stuff that you're just already into. So what actually got me to knowing a lot of the people in the beginning of my streaming like journey was just watching Super Mario Sunshine streams. And they helped, like, I got close to them, I memed around in their chat, I put google.com in their chat and that banned me for like a second and I kept getting banned and then I pissed them off for stuff like that. And you develop that. All it takes is going, hey, how is it going, Mafi, or that kind of thing to know where you stand, like in that kind of like streaming sphere. I guess my direction was more almost like being like a trickster or like funny little person, but a person that I associate with Paz's chat and is a great kind of like friend of his channel is Ulysses. Ulysses is one of the most wholesome and sweetest people ever. And that is just, there's different tropes, but that is such a great trope to kind of be in someone's chat to really get to network. Like, I imagine, I don't know like Paz, and maybe you can get into it kind of thing, but I wonder if people like that kind of like, you'd be down to be like, hey, did you want to like have some help with like streaming or that kind of thing, or like were you curious on how like I do certain things kind of stuff. And it opens up that friendly avenue rather than, like we said, we can sniff if you haven't even tried to make the effort to at least establish the relationship first. Even just like I think this is a green flag, playing games with them off stream as well.
Yes.
Like if you're just, if every time I like what is it with Paz or Bag, and then maybe in the future with Sim, since I'm not super familiar with you just yet, but that's, again, I have to get familiar with you if you let me, and don't hold that cheese grudge against me. But it's but it's like, yeah, like be a friend first, play some offline games with them, or feel comfortable with them off stream, hop in their VCs on their Discord kind of thing, and then like take them out for dinner first, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, that pretty much hits most of what I was gonna say, is like just engage with them. I think like the best thing is like, after you've had like at least some sort of level of rapport, just like when you raid into them, like I know a lot of people when they raid they kind of gotta duck and leave, but like it means a lot for especially for even smaller streamers. Like if you stick around and you chat with them and you talk to them, and like granted, yeah, like the whole raiding thing, but like it's like kind of like hey, I brought my whole community here. I'm here to stay at least as long as I can. And guess what? I'm gonna be an active chatter. I'm gonna be here with you.
That's how we met Coffee.
Yes.
That's how we met Coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good dude.
He is amazing.
I love Coffee.
Coffee's great.
More of a Red Bull kind of.
All right, the rest of the podcast is just a love letter to Coffee.
If Coffee could just like read me like his autobiography, I could fall asleep to that.
We need to get Coffee to do a subathon or a donathon, something, and make that be one of the rewards to read to us.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
Have him read something like 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh my god, no.
Never say what book it is.
Man.
When we had our puppies, we used to have our nightly routine was we were sleeping on a mattress in our living room. That was tiled, so they could go to the bathroom on it and not be hard to clean. And so we would be sitting, both of us, with just Coffee's stream up on my laptop, playing the audio. Both of us had it up on our phones. And we just listened to Coffee till we could finally sleep. Oh, what a great dude.
Honestly, sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was great. But on the basis of networking and getting to other streamers, I wanna throw out an additional tip of don't be upset or don't take it personally if somebody doesn't want to collab with you.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's so big.
Yeah. Because it might not be personal. So there's a lot of different reasons that a streamer or content creator might not be open to a collaboration. So I'm gonna go through a couple of them here just so that you guys have context for that. Which number one could just be a privacy thing, right? Maybe they are not comfortable with engaging with somebody in that way and putting themselves in a position for you to like ask them questions they're not comfortable answering in a public setting or something like that, right? They might just like to keep their streams private. Another reason is maybe they've been burned before on a collab, right? Maybe they've been with a collab and somebody has said something that was really, really offensive and hurt their viewers or their community, and they just aren't willing to open their streams back up. It could be that maybe you guys are great as a streamer and chatter, or could be great off stream, but maybe their on-stream persona and your on-stream personas just don't mesh, right? Everybody has a little bit of a persona when they're on stream. Let's admit it. And the way that you are on stream might not mesh well with the way someone else is. That's not personal. That's just business. Could also be a situation where they just like to have a little bit more control over their streams, right? Because whenever you invite another person to your stream, you open up for, they have some control over the content that gets created that day, right? You can't control them and say you can't do this or you can't do that. So maybe they're just not comfortable with that. It's just comfort levels, right? And if you get really salty when person A won't collab with you and you make it clear, or you tell them that you're upset, or you start being rude in their chat, well, I promise you that person A has friends, and they are going to tell those friends that you came into their community and tried to be friends, and that as soon as you said you didn't want to collab, they stopped being your friend, and you're not going to network very far doing that. So don't take it personal and don't be a dick.
Yeah, I actually want to touch a little bit more on that. I have a friend, a streamer friend. Her name is Kay Crucify. She's a partner on Twitch. She's taking like a big long hiatus right now. I don't know for what reason. It might be like mental reasons or something. But she and I get along so well off stream. And like she has like said herself that she would be so down to like collab and stuff like that with me and like even other people, but the reason why she doesn't do collabs is because she, like, her ADHD gets in the way of her focusing on the game or her chat and someone else at the same time, that, like, for her it becomes overstimulation, and like she just like shuts down.
She can't perform. She can't do her best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So like it's even like something like that, like where people could just get like overstimulated, and like you're not taking that into account. Like, it's not a personal thing against you. You just be the like the streamer that you want to collab with for at that moment in time feels like they can't physically do it.
Yeah. There's also technological limitations for collabs as well, right? Maybe somebody's computer just straight up can't handle a Discord call at the same time as stream.
Yeah.
They can't control that. Like, so don't take it personal and don't be a dick about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could have definitely test, like, for example, for like the personalities percent, like, in a way, because like when you look at my stream, it's a fucking chaotic mess. There's no 1-2 ways about it. And like, if I ever do a collab, like, the first thing I always ask, especially if it's someone like I've never collabed with before, is like I say, hey, are you okay with me not streaming during your, because usually like it's a collaboration, both or multiple parties are streaming. Like, I opt out because like otherwise, like 9 times out of 10 it's just me screaming at my own chat. So like it's just one of those things, like, that's part of the reason why you don't see me often in collaborations with other people, because it's just like I feel bad for my collaborations partners, because like if I'm live and they're live, their chat is gonna be like, why is he screaming? Like, because they don't see what's going on, or they don't hear what's going on.
It's like your like brand of content is like overpowering almost.
Yeah.
My favorite collabs with Paz are the ones where we're streaming at the same time, and I just pull up his stream and he pulls up my stream and we yell at each other through Twitch.
As a
that's
viewer,
a callback.
it's so funny.
So good. So we've talked a little bit about the do's and don'ts of getting a collab set up, finding people to network with. So maybe let's talk about, like, now let's say you have a collab, right? It's Baby's first collab, and it's something you're really excited about. Now, what do we think are the important steps for having a successful collab or first time collaboration experience with someone?
Establish some ground rules.
Yes.
Like,
Talk about things before you go live.
yeah. So I remember, I think I did this with Bag, actually, really early on.
Yeah.
With, well, I'm not sure what you're
It was
referring to.
you're talking about my pre-debut when we did Pokemon?
Yeah, so just kind of checking, like touching base on, like, it's everything from comfortability to just how things work. You don't really want to, like, especially, I don't know if this is like particularly with Bag, but just with like, maybe I often even collab with people that don't even stream. So it's making sure that they're familiar with how things go, like running down like the, kind of like the what is it? Not the script, but like how streams will typically go, how people might even like potentially react, what the vibes kind of are, because sometimes they might be a little incompatible. I did this even more with Danganronpa. There was a point where I was basically getting a new person on every week. I gave them synopsises of what's going on, like in the story, to make sure that they've even got like context. So just kind of that, like,
character descriptions too for the
yeah, exactly. Like, don't put that friend in the dark, or collaborator I should say, in the dark about how the show runs. But like the last thing you want to do is have someone that's too afraid to even like say anything, because they're just intimidated by it all.
Yep. I want to add to that and say, don't assume that just because the person you're collabing with is maybe a more experienced streamer than you, that they know how you run your streams and what your expectations are and what your rules are for your streams. It can feel really tempting to be like, oh, they know the drill, right? Like, be funny. We're gonna have a good time. But like, establishing those ground rules and making sure that you are on the same page for what is and isn't okay. The general format of the stream, also just technology as well. Like, how are they going to be on this? Are they going to be a PNG on the stream? Are they going to be a full model on the stream? Having that clear line of communication about, hey, I'm going to be streaming. Are you planning to stream as well? If you are, do you want to be a PNG on my stream or have your full model or your full webcam or whatever the case may be? And establishing all of that beforehand can really, really help make the collab be more successful. I have been part of lots of collabs and hosted quite a few as well. And I will say that one thing that can be nerve-wracking is when you don't know what's going to happen and you're just waiting for the time. And you're just like, okay, I'm supposed to be here at this time. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
Yeah.
And like, if you have an established relationship with that person, that might work out, right? If you've collabed tons and tons before and you know the drill because you've had that communication in the past, that's a different story than like a first time collaboration with someone too. So don't expect them to know. Don't assume that they know anything.
Yeah, I'll say like, because so Blair and I have known each other for so many years. And we collab pretty often as well together. Just, you know, randomly when we decide that we feel like it. And now it's become like this weekly thing where we play Stardew together and stuff like that. But like, it took a long time for us to get to like this, like, okay, we're gonna do this thing weekly and it's gonna run smoothly every single week, because we already have like this history, this like whole like backlog of streams that we've already done, where we figured shit out like beforehand, and now we've been able to use that as a reference point for our future collaborations. So like talking things out, setting up ground rules, making sure that like everyone is on the same page. That's so important. Have everyone on the same page and be like, hey, I'm okay with this, I'm not okay with that. It's so important to have that like out in the open. It's so important for collabs.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want is like, I don't know, this person that you've known for many years, and you maybe you're like best friends off stream, right? But then like the moment you start streaming together, you realize, oh, our stream personas are like drastically different, and we don't mesh well together.
Ooh, speaking of somebody that you've known for a long time, reminds me also, if you are collabing with somebody who you know like IRL, if you have a streamer name or a streamer identity, making sure they know not to say your real name.
Yep.
Don't dox them.
Don't dox them. Don't let them dox you.
Yeah.
Like making sure that those ground rules are very quickly communicated is super important. And that's just for any kind of community management that's going to involve your IRL people and your online people.
Yes. Especially if the streamer themselves is like going out of their way to not have their name like out there, do not under any circumstances be like, hey, real name person, and then be like, be completely oblivious to the fact that you just said their real name on stream and continue to like blab on, because they like the person you just doxed is now in like
Crisis
red
mode.
alert, panic mode. Like, what the hell? What do I do about this? Did everyone hear that? Did everyone pay attention? Oh my god! So like, yeah, for the love of God, don't dox each other.
Yep.
Crying out loud.
My little tip to that, this is something that I personally do, is their government issued name is replaced by their online name. So for example, the people that I know, like I will physically, like if I see him in person, Agent Munch is always Agent Munch or just Munch. Johnny the Survivor is always just Johnny. Mind you, that's not actually his real name. And then Kalani is always Kalani. Mr. the Survivor. And Kalani's always Kalani. Like I will go to Walmart and be like, hey Kalani, what do you want for food? What do you want for dinner? And that's not her real name. And if anybody is like, is that her real name? And they're like, sure, why not? Like
it is now.
Yeah.
The most extreme example is one of the people, one of my friends. I used to work with him. Went on the PA and went, Mafidella to the back room. Mafidella to the back room. What are you doing? How
It's
how
almost
did
like
you
an IRL docs. Like if somebody who knows you is like, wait a minute, the streamer's here.
This is a grocery store. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to promote my channel on the PA system.
I love
Thank you.
when Fire Angel calls me bag at work in front of our boss. That's always
my
a great
God.
time.
That's amazing.
It happens on occasion and it's really funny. She doesn't mean to, she just does it.
Yeah, because like I feel like if you keep calling someone by like their online persona, it's going to bleed into IRL. It's just gonna.
stick. Yeah, Cloud and I call each other by our online names all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, for example, with Johnny, I've forgotten his government issue name. I've known this guy for like 5 years.
Just forgot. I can't wait for Johnny to listen to this podcast and be like, "You forgot my name."
It happened on stream. I said something, and he's like, "Did you call me by my name?" I was like, "No." I said, "That's such and such." He's like, "Oh, thank God." I'm like, "What is your real name?"
That's crazy.
Oh my god. Okay. So going back to collabs. So we've talked about don't dox your collab partners. We've talked about
Don't let them dox you.
communication. Don't let them dox you. I would say also, if you're hosting, be welcoming, and if you're not hosting, be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
Like, are both of you streaming at the same time, or are you doing like this? I have a system that I actually prefer doing, where like two people stream on one channel and then they go over to the next channel on the other collab. So it's like a two-part collab. I prefer that much more over like, yeah, we're both gonna stream at the same time, both gonna engage with our communities at the same time, and we're gonna both do like our usual things at the same time, because like most of the time it doesn't overlap all that well.
I agree. I've tried the whole dual stream thing. I struggle with it. It's so hard. It's especially before I had a stream deck, because you can't just hit a button to deafen.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It was a pain, and I probably so many collabs. But like just being aware, like if two people are streaming, either you can't talk to your chat, or you have got to be prepared to mute and deafen at a moment's notice if you still insist to your chat.
Yes.
Because it becomes so chaotic for people who are trying to watch the streams otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I really have liked.
It's also kind of like a turnoff for the for both chats, honestly, to hear like the other streamer talk to their chat and be like, "Oh, thank you for the 6-month sub, so and so," because then your viewers will be like, "Huh? Did I just hear that? What are they talking about?"
I do my best, but I'm not the perfect at it. Like whenever I do a dual stream, like I have a mute button for like if I get bits or if I'm talking to like raiders or whatever have you. I will do my best to try and remember that exists. But if I do, like immediate mute, chat with them, and then unmute when I'm done, so I can go back to the collaboration stream. So that way the other streamers, their viewers are not going, "Oh, okay, they're gonna just spew on about a incoming raid for like 5 minutes."
And that communication that we talked about before stream always continues on stream as well, right? Like especially in a dual stream situation, don't be afraid to say, "1 sec, guys, just got a raid," and then deafen.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's totally acceptable to do, so that they know that 1, if they need to talk to you, that you can't hear them. But 2, like you're communicating why you're just like dipping for a second, and they're not like they don't make a joke to you, and then they're like, "Oh, they were deafened the whole time."
Yeah, like if you're gonna specifically if you're gonna deafen, I feel like it's fine to just like mute, like without saying anything. But like if you're gonna deafen and like be like completely cut off from the collab, say something so that the others, your collab partner, knows that it's happening.
Yep.
Because your collab partner would rather know that they cannot hear you right now than for them to sit like you said, say a funny joke and like, oh, there's no reaction. What's going on? Oh, they're deafened. They didn't tell me.
Yeah. And
Now I feel stupid.
Even if you're not doing a dual stream, that communication could be important because whoever you're collaborating with may not be able to hear your stream alerts, right? So if you have a loud raid alert that goes off and they're speaking to you, being able to be like, hang on, sorry, got a raid, 1 second. Like being able to still communicate to them is important if you're not going to be sharing your stream with them. And even if you are sharing your stream with them, if you're playing a game, they're probably focused on the game.
Exactly.
So, like just being conscientious and that communication, just staying open and being courteous and kind to whoever you're hosting or streaming.
I agree.
I have nothing else to add.
Me neither.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to scheduling.
Yes, we can talk about scheduling. So you've done all these things. You've chosen your platform. You have your content. And you have started off with all of your things, and now you need to have a schedule. What do you think about schedules? I'm a bad person to talk about this.
Like I said at the when we talked about like, you know, I can't remember what the exact topic was, but like things to keep in mind at the beginning, be consistent with your schedule.
Yep.
If you're gonna set a schedule, try to stick to it, because that's when your viewers will know to like when to expect you to be live. So even if they don't get like a notification through like Discord or anything like that, or like a tweet or something, they know, oh, it's Monday at X hour. Streamer is probably live at this moment.
Yeah.
So they will like go and check.
And there are tons and tons of schedule tools, right? So I'm going to go over the ones I'm familiar with. If you have a Discord, you can set up events in your Discord that will notify your Discord when you're live. You can set it for a duration, so it'll show up on their list of servers as something happening in the server. You can post a schedule on your social media that you made in Canva. You can post it in your Discord as well. Twitch itself actually has a schedule tool that you can utilize that will show your schedule. So if, let's say that somebody new comes in and they catch the tail end of your stream and they aren't on Twitter or don't want to join your Discord, but they are interested in catching you next time, they can look on your Twitch tool as well. There's a lot of ways to get the word out for live.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add, if you can't be consistent, there are still avenues of content creation that you can go down where having like a consistent schedule, whilst it does suck, it's not gonna like basically cut you off from producing any kind of online content. Like if YouTube is an amazing example. You can pre-record a video, edit it at your leisure, and then have it set ready to like go live per se at whatever date and whatever time you want. Like you could upload it and then you could walk away from your computer while you're at work, and then let's say for example you have it set to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday, boom, there it is. And like that will allow you to be flexible enough to still produce online content. Yeah, you won't be streaming, but at least you're still doing something. You're doing something, and you're building your brand. And then if you ever have the availability to go streaming, well, you won't be able to capture 100% of that audience. Guess what? Some of them will carry over.
That's a good point. And if you're not able to be consistent, at least be communicative, right? There's a lot of value in the relationship that you build with your community. And so if you're going to cancel a stream or move a stream or whatever, a ping to your community goes a long way, or on your socials, or a comment in your, even in your bio, or whatever form of communication that you're using this early on in your career as a streamer. Just anything that lets your people know, like, I'm dipping out, but I will be back, is really helpful. I think we live in a world where ghosting happens a lot. People get ghosted by content creators. They get ghosted by artists. They get ghosted by people.
That's crazy.
They get ghosted.
Say the artists specifically.
Anyway, it's really easy to get ghosted on the internet, and so by communicating with your community, you're just making sure they don't feel ghosted and that they stick around for time you're going to be live. Also, when it comes to that relationship building, that vulnerability of saying like, I'm not feeling well and I'm going to prioritize my mental health today, and tweeting and like sending that out, even if you don't want to get into the specific reasons as to why you're canceling, people appreciate that, right? I think everybody appreciates transparency and vulnerability because it makes them feel a little bit more connected with you. Like, hey, even though we can't connect via our normal method, I feel connected to you because you shared something.
Yeah.
And so it goes a long way to building community and retaining community, even if you're going through a rough time and you can't be consistent with your stream.
I feel like almost I struggle with the whole thing of like recently I've had to cancel a lot of stuff that I've either put through like a schedule or like, you know, I'm like in the general Twitter like talks of maybe I'll stream today or tomorrow kind of thing. I'm like, never mind. And I realized like if someone does negatively react to that, they probably shouldn't even be around. Like actually, like I'll show you to the door. Like, because clearly, like it comes across a certain way. I'm like, like, do I want that kind of energy? Someone that's not understanding of the fact that like life is trying to like fuck me sideways or something. Like, I don't know. It's like. It's something that I have to like slowly convince myself as well, and something that you will acclimatize to potentially if you go through a period like a rough patch where you go from consistent streaming to I'm gonna have to call off tonight, and it becomes very like frequent kind of thing where it's I think a lot of the people are very patient and understanding. I'd like to think that are the core members of your community.
Yeah, the people that will like still like be excited for you to like go live next after like a long string of like cancellations. Those are the kind of people you want like to keep around for your community.
And then they hit first all of a sudden. I'm like, we're so back. I love you guys.
We're so back.
I also want to say, make sure to set up a schedule that isn't going to force you to burn out. It's, you can go live 7 days a week, 6 hours at a time, and get, like, all those views and everything, but, like, at some point, you might find that's no longer sustainable, and guess what? Then you're making no videos, and that's going to hurt you in the longer run, because then if you're not creating content, and God knows, nobody, like... There is no set time frame for how long a burnout will last. It could be a day, could be a week, could be a whole month. Like, and if you're not producing content during that time frame, like you're gonna, you'll keep your core audience members in a sense, but like all those other people, especially the people who are newer to your channel that doesn't know what's going on, like they're gonna be gone. They're just gonna
fickle.
Yeah.
And let's just keep in mind that burnout doesn't just mean not producing content. It can also mean producing less than quality content.
True.
Or content that doesn't represent you and what you're capable of and what your values are or what you want to put out into the world. That's kind of like the secret hidden hiatus where you're just not a good time for like a month. It also counts and has effects on your So
that's why when I feel off, like I can feel like I can feel it in my bones that like if I go live today, I'm not gonna be able to like put on a stream that like people will enjoy. I will just be like, hey man, this is a bad day. I'm just gonna cancel. I'm just gonna be straight up. If I went live today, it would just be a bad stream for everyone. So let's just not do it. And like being upfront and like honest about that, even though it like breaks your schedule, like people will appreciate that so much more than you going live and like just putting on like the most god awful stream that you've ever done.
they can smell it.
They can smell it.
Smell it.
They can smell it.
It's pretty stinky.
Yeah. Smells like onion.
I will say, I can't.
Stinky. That smells good. Eat real food.
I will say, I can't recall who I saw this from, but like something I genuinely liked was when someone had to cancel, what they did is like in their little notifications, like, hey, I'm not live. However, you can watch this person or this person, and they have similar vibes to me, or they are people that I trust with my community, and they're currently live. You can go watch them instead. Like, I love that.
I do
my
that
gosh.
with Egan
I do
so
that.
much.
Do you guys remember?
Go on.
Sorry, go ahead, Mafi. No, go ahead.
Well,
I
just really
lost my
quick.
brains. Okay.
It was literally just like, yeah, like Egan's picked up the pace with streaming. This is my partner, for context. But yeah, like I'm just like, I'm not feeling it, but he sure is. You go on.
So, do you guys remember? I think Sim, this might have been before we met, but maybe I did this still when we met. There was a point in time when I was actually walking back from the 4 streams a week to the 3, and I actually, because I was walking it back, I found somebody every day of the week that I wasn't streaming and put them on my schedule.
I think it
I
was
love
you.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did that because I was walking it back, but I didn't want to leave people without something to do. And so I literally, like, I would wait. I was always the last to post my schedule out of the community TM because I would wait until everyone posted their schedules, and I would literally put their ats and their time on my schedule, and then tweet it out and like put it everywhere because that was like awesome because then the people were at least watching somebody that I knew and I was probably at. So like, if my people have to be somewhere, at least we're all hanging out in the same chat, right? Still hanging out, but not in the normal sense. But then too, it allowed me to walk back my content a little bit from where I had it unsustainable, because I was giving them something else to do and I didn't feel as bad. I wish I did that still, but it's become hard because I just got lazy trying to collect all the schedule.
It's something, honestly, I almost, like, even from this point forward, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I'd do it in the stream schedule way, but just kind of, like, whether it's that streamer of the day kind of thing, where I'm like, I'm watching this person, and, like, it's a great opportunity for them to actually meet, whether you potentially collaborate with them in the future or not, or just, like, someone that you feel comfortable with, like, sharing to the community, right? That, like, you're not just telling some rando, or like just like bringing up some rando that
an idea.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. I guess you could go down the rando route, but then I'd like to think that you probably thought it through vibes and the games they're playing.
I just had devious thoughts. Expect new Discord roles shortly, all of you.
What the?
Oh, God.
Interesting.
I'm making a second live now channel just for all of the best of the streamer boys, and then when you go live,
I was thinking of that. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I think it is a ping cord thing. I've seen some people do it, and I'm like, that's such a great way to show off the, like, I have a fellow streamer's role. I need to assign it to like that.
I have ideas. Anyway, unrelated to this podcast, but I have it. Okay, I think that we've covered all of the topics.
Well, there's one more.
Covered today. Is there one more? Did I miss one?
One more?
Goals.
Goals. Oh,
yeah.
Goals.
I don't really, man, as someone who doesn't really set goals for himself, I don't have much to say on this other than, like, if you're gonna set any goal, like, make sure it's like you start off, especially like if you're just starting out streaming, or just content creation in general, right? If you're just starting out, don't have like your goal be like, I'm gonna get X amount of followers within my first month. No, like, please, for the love of God, start with small goals that like could build up to something bigger.
I think
don't like come out the gate swinging.
I think I've said this before, but I feel like it's good to reiterate this. Set goals that are directly impactful. By doing stuff like follower goals or viewer count, you are essentially putting the horse before the cart. And if you do things, for example, like oh, I'm gonna make a new overlay, or hey, I'm gonna set up chat commands, or I'm gonna set up redeems. If you start doing those things, which you could directly do, let's say for example you spend a whole day to do it and you got it done, that will then make those follower goals or those viewer counts be impacted that way. Like those will go up because you did the prior goals, the ones you could impact.
Yep. I want to nuance this and say that what we're talking about are the goals in your brain. There are tools on Twitch and through Stream Elements and things like that that allow you to put goals on your overlays. There's nothing wrong with putting a follower goal on your overlay, but don't make that the center of your attention.
Yeah,
You're more than welcome to use those tools to incentivize people to follow, but that's not the real goal, right? That's a fake goal.
The real goal is like, oh, I want to stream for 3 hours a day, or I want to stream for 10 hours this week. You know, when you're first starting out, don't be like, yeah, I'm gonna get 50 subs tomorrow. Like
here's my $300 dono goal that I want to hit by the end of the.
Yeah, like seeing number go up is it's fun. I get it, but don't make that your goal because you're sitting on the expectation that you have literally no control over.
I maybe this is like adding on or like a different way of even like viewing it. It's not the particular it's not particularly like, oh, hit 100 followers or hit 200 followers or something that you should be paying attention to or like hyper focusing on, but maybe just, is your number going up, or is it like or like your average viewers going up? Because it's more viewing the sample size and trends like retrospectively and going, I did this thing and it performed well. And it means that I've got like the cogs and gears kind of going, rather than fixating if I don't get 10 viewers, like 10, like you're at like 9.5 or something. Like I'm gonna, it's so over. You know, like that's not the point. But like I think numbers can help us kind of show where we're at and where we're going. But the number itself, that specific number, to me, doesn't matter. It really does.
And just because there's so much that can affect them. Yeah, there's so much that can go into it, right? Like, let's say you have a stream that performs really badly, but Twitch had an outage to all of the EU.
Yeah.
There you go. Like, that, maybe a lot of your audience was from the EU. And that's why you had low numbers and there was an outage, and you won't see that because you're not on those servers. But boy, oh boy, did everybody else see that, and they couldn't watch your stream. And so that's why those kind of goals, while they can help you assess in like over a chunk of time, not necessarily stream to stream, but over a chunk of time with how successful the things that you're doing are impacting you and your content creation, that your goals really should just be like, here are the things that I can actually impact or affect, like upgrading an overlay, adding a new chat command or redeem. I would like to find one new person to raid this month, or somebody new to collab with, but don't say I want to collab with this person, because again, that's somewhat out of your control, because they can deny, right?
Exactly.
Saying I want to find a new connection.
Yeah.
I want to make a new friend. I want to find a streamer whose content that I enjoy. I want to do those types of things. I'm going to post this many TikToks this month. And just being proactive about your own goals, right? And making sure that you're setting things that you can affect. If your goal is clips, make sure you're clipping your own stream. Don't rely just on chat, right? Like,
yeah, having a stream deck is amazing for that.
Yeah,
because you can just put a clip button on your stream deck.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's cool.
It's so good. It clips like the last 30 seconds. It's a lifesaver.
I have a highlight button on mine as well. The clip button is great, but I always struggle with the timing. I have a highlight button, and then when you go into your highlight feature on your VOD in Twitch, it will show a pin where you hit that button, and you can go back and then manually clip them.
A stream marker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Twitch actually has like a highlight feature, which is like it's just a click when it's longer.
But yeah, it puts a stream marker.
Yeah.
On your highlight stuff.
Yeah, stream markers are goated. They really are.
They're so good. They're so good. So nice.
One thing I'd
especially if you're not sure, like maybe you had like a clippable moment, but you're not sure like how long it was. Let me just put a stream marker.
One thing I'd recommend for newer streamers for sure is if you're gonna implement goals, make sure like I mean, not saying you have to, but like I would recommend having your goals be quality of life improvements for either you as the streamer or as for your viewers. So I'm gonna use a direct example. Audio ducking is a thing. Audio ducking is basically like you have your game volume and then you have your microphone volume. When I speak, the game volume will then lower, so my game volume's not at the same level that I'm speaking. So if you have suddenly like the music in the game gets real loud, the viewers are still going to hear you over the game no matter what. So having those quality of lives, I think, would be a really good recommendation for a lot of streamers, like specifically newer streamers. Heck, even intermediate to long-time streamers would be still good recommendations, because like there's nothing wrong like having a good quality of life enhancement to your stream for both a viewer or a streamer. Like that's just a net positive, no matter what kind of content you're producing.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd also recommend doing research, whether it be like looking at technology, or one thing that I personally like to do is like look at both like big streamers, like we're talking like the top of the top, but also like other people that are like in between and newer streamers as well, and kind of like pick apart things that you like about their stream. Now, I'm not encouraging like stealing their content, but like definitely it's all right to take inspiration, especially if you credit them. Like for example, a lot of streamers that like one thing that I've noticed when I was doing research is like they brand the day of the week with a type of stream, and that's how my Sabotage Sunday was born. Like I drew inspiration from them. It's not like having a branded day of the week is strictly someone's intellectual property, but like it's out there. Take a look, just draw inspiration and see what works for you and what doesn't, and just like take note of it,
I agree. One thing I like to do that I have found really helpful in me getting more confident on stream and developing like the Baguette stream experience, right, as a whole, has been always watching at least one or two streamers who have average concurrent viewers that are like one little level above me, right? So when I was at 5, find people who were at 10, seeing how do their streams flow, what are the things that I like when I watch their streams, right? Not necessarily like, oh, they have this redeem, I want that redeem, but like how are their streams structured? How do they interact with chat? What kinds of innovations are they bringing? How interactive are they versus how interactive aren't they? I mean, just little things like that, like how cohesive is their branding? And then finding like one or two little things like that I like and saying, I want to do that, but a la Baguette. And that has been super helpful for me. And it's where it's helped keep me on track, because that way I'm always looking forward, like, okay, what's something that they're doing that I'm not doing? If I start doing that, maybe I'll have that success. Worst case scenario, I won't, but I probably won't have less success because of it, right? Like, I don't think people are gonna dish me because I put a different stinger on my transition. That's
I can't watch this anymore. It's not my usual bread lady experience.
Why are there flowers on my screen?
Oh no! Mafi puts a stinger that just says, I hate cheese, and Sim is just like, nope, we're done! I'm out!
That was Mafia, huh? I don't know who this person is.
Oh my god.
I don't think we have. Did anybody else have anything else to add, or?
I I mean, I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
So
I think we did.
if you're listening to this podcast, you're ready to hit the button tomorrow. We expect you all to go live immediately with all of the fantastic advice you've received today.
Just go live. Just hit the button.
Go live.
Just
hit the
do
button.
it. Just
do
do
it.
it.
Do it.
Unless you're feeling like shit. Don't do
Unless you're feeling like shit, then don't do it.
it. Yeah. But otherwise, you're more ready than you think.
Yeah.
I like that. Good
Yeah.
way to end. You're more ready than you think.
Yeah. So, where can we catch everybody at for when we're not doing the podcast? Okay. Sudden silence. We don't exist anywhere. We're only on the podcast.
Paz, why don't you start?
Hi, I'm Paz.
I was looking up the bagels for her to start.
No.
You can catch me on the internets. I'm all over the interwebs. I'm on the YouTubes. I'm on the Twitch. I guess there's the TikToks. I'll be honest with you, I just kind of half-butt those. Like, they're just out there. They exist. Yeah. That's where I be. Go check some out.
Can you give us a specific link?
Yeah, they'll be in the description that's currently not there right now as me speaking this because it's being recorded. But after the recording, all the links to all the people will definitely be in the Discords. Or not the Discords, what the description.
In the doobly
Discord's in the yeah.
They'll be in the Discord.
All right.
What about you?
You're looking at me again. What are you looking at me for?
Yeah,
What are you looking at me?
Baguette, you?
It's only Baguette into going next.
Don't you look at me like that. You can catch me over on Twitch. My name is exactly as how it's spelled on the screen and will be linked in the description. Baguette_baby. I stream sometimes 2 to 3 times a week on my channel, but it can often be found on other channels. If you go out to my Twitch, you can find a link to my Discord. That's the best way to know when I'll be going live, when I'll be streaming. I do a lot of different things, and I also have commissions, so check those out as well. Gonna do a quick little plug for that. You want a V-word model? Got you. You can find that information as well through my Twitch and my Twitter. Oh my. Sam.
Oh, I thought Mafia was gonna go next because
Nope.
Hey, that would be
Swedish first.
the three regulars.
So you're gonna be logical like this. Mafia,
All right.
Mafia has to end the podcast. So.
All right.
Go next.
Okay. All right. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Lord_Sim because your boy couldn't just get Lord Sim. Feels bad, man. And yeah, I don't know. I'm the inside Swedish gamer cat. I play video games. I do the funny ha-has, and other than that, I'm also on VGen as an artist that you can commission for stuff and things. I do illustrations. I draw a bunch of stuff. That's what I do. That's me. That's the cat man.
And to wrap up, I'm Mafidella. I hope you had a great time. Oh, actually, before I even go into that, I'm Mafidella on basically everything, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, TikTok reluctantly, and Twitter? I don't know if I said that right. But yeah, check us. Words. This is why I don't speak. Check out the rest of Level Up Live's pods in the by clicking probably our profile picture or click our name. I don't know how YouTube works nowadays, but you click on that, you can find the rest of our pods. We've had one with Egan, we've had one with McNucks, or if you're crazy and just want to listen to this podcast on loop, you can refresh the page.
Actually, what you can do is you can right-click the video and check the check mark that says loop.
Oh yeah, true. Just give us a lot of watch time for like
Yeah.
an unreasonable amount of time.
Yeah, give us at least 6 hours of watch time on this one video alone.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But
per
on that
viewer.
note,
Thank you.
bye-bye everyone. Thanks for listening. We love you all. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.